Happy Freedom Friday. Happy last Freedom Friday of the entire year. And it should be an interesting time. I'm actually super excited about what's happened this year, but specifically, I'm excited about what's to come in next year as well. I think 2023 is going to be an amazing year. And I can't wait to see what the possibilities are. This is going to be a little bit different type live stream for me. I'm going to share a little bit about what the past year, and I'll have to actually pick up a little bit before the past year and pick up a little bit from 2021. But I'm hoping at least that it can set us up to get through the year and kind of reminisce a little bit about some kind of stuff that we've done and what's happened over the past year and what's led us to where we're at right now. I'll probably share a little bit of video stuff that I got, and excuse me, and probably do some stuff with hopefully I'll have some guys joining me on the panel here in a little bit. I sent out the link to a few people, and I know other people's got stuff going on, and we're at the end of the year, so it's not a big deal if they can't come and hang out, but I'm hoping that we do. So we will give a few minutes for let everybody kind of get in here that's going to be in here and stuff. But we'll see how it goes. So hey Casey, how are you? It's man, is it like it's so weird because like just last week it was so freaking cold, man. Like stupid cold here. And now I was like out like in short sleeves, right? Hey, Miss Carolyn, Miss Lady Star, how's everybody doing? And now it's like 60 some degrees out. Okay. Look, I'm not one to complain. Okay, yeah, I am. Never mind, I was going somewhere else with that. Okay, I am one to complain, but okay, never mind. I really don't have a point there because ultimately I really do bitch and complain about a lot of stuff. I mean, if you ask my wife, it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. But nevertheless, we go from like 0 to freaking 70. Come on now. Jesus don't like that. Come on now. That ain't good. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday, by the way. Is it still freezing there? Oh, wow. Well, that means it's probably going to be freezing here again really soon too. So it never stops. It's like always something. And just about the time I start getting used to the cold, it gets freaking like super warm. And then I get used to that again. And then it gets cold again. So welcome to Ohio, where we can have like every season in one day somehow. I don't know. But hey, good old boy. Yeah, Tator's here too, I reckon. Instead. 14 out there. Oh my gosh. I'm guessing is it so last summer 7? I'm sorry, I'm kind of like squinting at the screen. Had dinner at Calamity. Oh yeah. Yeah, Calamity J's. Wow, I haven't heard that name for a while, actually. Yeah, I got off work a little bit early. I worked till 10 p.m., but I actually found that I had 1 hour of personal time that I didn't realize I hadn't spent. And if I don't use it by the first of the year, I lose it. So I was like, well, like my guys are doing good. Everything's caught up and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and use that and leave a little bit early. So I was over on Hall Pass for a little while. Just hanging out with him for a little bit and Tom. So, and hopefully Epiphanies, how are you? Hey Dave, how are you? I'm hoping that, that we have some more people join us here in a little bit. And I really want to share some stuff with you because this has been, man, it's been a roller coaster year, man, for real. It started with no intentions of me having anything to do with YouTube. I can promise that. So it's been a really interesting year. So, and we'll go through all of that. Hey, baby doll Ironton, how are you, dear? I'm hoping I'm going to show some um I'm going to show some video, hopefully, that you guys may or may not remember, and we'll talk about a little bit of stuff here in a minute. But I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to kind of get in here that's going to and stuff. Um, yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But so, how's everybody's Friday been, by the way? Is everybody ready for this new year? Like, seriously? Wow, it's crazy. It's already here, isn't it? I mean, it seems like seriously, just like, hey, Shelly, how are you? Um, it really does seem like, is that Nakoti? Is that how that's actually pronounced? I'm sorry. I just realized that. Um, but I, I, I swear it seems like 5 minutes ago it was Thanksgiving. And then like all of a sudden, like what? Like I didn't even get a chance to even realize that it was like already Christmas and now it's New Year's. It's crazy. So, but I wanted to have a stream and hang out with you guys, and we will talk about what's up um, for my channel for 2023. And we're going to reminisce and talk a little bit about the stuff that I was able to do and find and locate and be a part of, and somehow guessing that, I don't know. I guess it was a success. I had fun anyway. So, and I got to meet a lot of really awesome people. You know, you guys have really been awesome, and a lot of the other channels and stuff and other content creators and stuff that I've met and have just really been a blessing to my life. So it's been a lot of fun. So, but I will start. I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and start about kind of stuff that I want to talk about. And I want to, and in order to kind of set up my 2022, I want to explain where my 2021 kind of ended. When the whole C word, nasty illness started popping up in 2019, I guess, but 2020 in the States. You know, I was during the lockdown stuff or whatever. Of course, we still had to work, you know, and we were working some really long hours and all this stuff. And it was funny because I never really, I can't say I didn't take it seriously because I did, but I didn't really know what it really was. Right. And we was always at work, and I was working 12-hour shifts, you know, because, you know, all these different weird mandates telling us how we could work and not work and whatever type thing. So, um, but anyway, so after all that was going on, we worked through 2020 and I never got sick, you know, whatever. And it was crazy. So 2021 comes along, and 2021 started off, and I was in the gym really heavy and I was lifting a lot and stuff. And that's when well, let me see if I can actually show it. I don't know if you guys can see that nasty thing on my arm. But because of that, that's how I ended up where I'm at, with lost all my muscle mass and stuff. I had to have my right elbow completely rebuilt. I tore my tricep and tricep tendon, and had to have surgery and so on and so forth. And it was really awful. So, but just about the time I'm kind of recovering from that, and I just got back in the gym, guys. Just got back in the gym. I just started lifting, and I was at work. Excuse me. I was at work, and I kid you not, I went home. I got off at midnight shift, and I went home at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I come home, and I was like on my way home, and I was like, man, I don't feel real good. I don't know. Let me go ahead and see. Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, good, good. And I was literally setting up my 2022, but I was starting back with 2021. So
keep going.
But yeah, so in September of 2021, I got off work, and I was coming home, and I remember feeling like, it's like, man, I don't feel real good. Like I kind of felt like my blood pressure was up a little bit. You know, that feeling like when your ears start getting real hot and stuff. You know, I was thinking, man, I don't feel real good. So by the time I got home, I walk in and I told my wife, you know, normally, you know, because she was kind of getting the kids ready for school and stuff. And normally, you know, we kind of hang out and talk for a few minutes and stuff. And I said, I'm going to bed. I was like, I don't feel good. And she's like, you sick? I was like, yeah, I think I'm kind of getting sick. And she said, well, get you some sleep. So I went to sleep, and I woke up, And when I woke up in the afternoon, I was sick, like fever, really crappy sick. And that turned into a really, really bad case of that awful virus that landed me in the hospital. And I was in the hospital for 6 days. And excuse me, I was on the high flow oxygen, the whole 9 yards, and it was really, really bad. And quite frankly, I nearly lost my life. But I was able, and honestly, I really feel like God kind of delivered me from that and allowed me to survive. And after all that, then in comes 2022, which is kind of why we're here to talk about, right? And things kind of got kind of crazy from there. So, and just to make sure everybody understands, when 2022 started, I was, um, I had no interest at that point in doing anything on YouTube. I'd never even really knew about what a 1A auditor of any sorts really was, to be honest. I had no clue. No clue. I'd never really, I mean, I'd seen these guys, some of these different guys going around with cameras and stuff or whatever, but I didn't really know what they were doing, right? Um, as far as YouTube goes. And so anyway, so I kind of got that idea of, YouTube was more for just having fun or whatever. And to me, it was about watching gun videos and lifting videos and watching like Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall and, the big strong guys on there and stuff. 'Cause I never really knew that these guys really existed. And then all of a sudden I'm working one day and somebody says, "Who's that YouTuber guy that's like going around in the city?" I said, "I don't know." And it's like some guy they call Chille or something. And I said, "I don't know who that is." And it's like, okay. So I had no clue. No clue. So I had never really met anybody like this. And I did not meet him that day, actually. Um and I got to know the next day. I went into work or whatever, and I had heard that he was really, really nasty to the way that he talked to some of our officers and stuff. And he was very disrespectful. And I'd never really run into a guy like this before because I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, you're a real moron. Like, you really have a real chip on your shoulder. And I mean, I kind of picked up on it immediately that he was doing it for clicks and views. It had nothing to do with the righteous fight, like he likes to say it is. It's not. He's not doing it for that. But so anyway, so he kind of come across as kind of an asshole. So I knew that I didn't like him, or at least I didn't think I liked him. But when everybody was talking about him and they were talking about him being all about freedom and liberty and stuff, which is what he was trying to push at the time, certainly, I was kind of like, I'm going to check him out a little bit because, even though he doesn't really like police, if he's a, the freedom loving type guy, I mean, constitutionalist is what he was to say. I mean, he and I may get along pretty good because that's how I feel, right? I had no clue who this guy was. So when I actually kind of looked into him, I immediately decided that, he's trouble, right? He's just wanting trouble. He doesn't really know much about the Constitution. It's very obvious. He's just full of shit. But nevertheless, it is what it is. So I'm working and I had my first encounter with him. He comes up to my window and he's, trying to kind of talk a little smack to me and stuff and try to get a rise out of me, but he didn't get. And then he starts talking about how he always wants to fight a cop in the cage, fight a cop in the cage. Well, for those who don't know me, I grew up, and kind of, being around boxing and stuff my whole life, as a young lad. And then, about the time I went to the academy, right after the academy, I took an interest in, in combat grappling, or like, a lot of people refer to as jujitsu, as in the gi is really jujitsu, but anyway, it was kind of stuff like that. And I had an interest in there, for that type of stuff. So I started training jujitsu. And I kind of got used to that kind of aspect of it. And I'd boxed away from the striking arts and kind of got away from those type boxing type things for a while. But I'd been around fighting my whole life, excuse me. I'd been around training, fighting and boxing and jiu-jitsu and a little bit of something all around. So I knew when he started talking that smack, and I'd already kind of seen what his attitude was about. And just prior to actually the first time I ever met him, I had actually knew that I was thinking to myself, like, this guy needs somebody to call him out on his bullshit, because being around fighters, you kind of learn to recognize fighters. You kind of pick up on their overall demeanor, and you pick up on personalities, and you kind of recognize what somebody who really is a fighter is, as opposed to somebody who just talks a lot of smack. And I knew he was full of shit. I knew he was. So, but I was thinking, you know what? Even if he has had a little bit of fighting experience, I've got basically one lung at this point. I'm fat. I'm out of shape. Haven't been able to work out. But I still think he's full of shit. And I don't think he can, quite frankly, I don't think he could carry my jock strap. But nevertheless, that's not the point. So I was wanting to think, I'd take him up on that. But I had to get approval from, first of all, from my wife. And then I had to get approval from the city or from the chief of police. So after he was kind of getting known a little bit around here and being a troublemaker, I went home and talked to my wife. And after she seen the video of him and realized what an asshole he was, and he infuriated her within the first 5 seconds of being introduced to him, she says, "That's the guy you're wanting to fight." And I said, "Yeah. What would you think about that?" And she goes, "Yeah." She's like, "Kick his ass." I said, "Okay." So I went at that point and I went back to the department and I said, "Hey, chief, what would you think about me accepting that?" And she says, "No, absolutely not." And I said, "Well, I wouldn't do it like on the street like a thug." I said, "But what if we could do it for a good cause? What if we could do it for charity?" And she says, "For charity?" She's like, "I'm all about charity." I said, "So am I. So if I can get him to agree to do it for charity." She says, "Okay." So now I've got the permission from the people that I had to get permission from, and now I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for him to come to me. And I went on that call, and there he comes, and he taps on the window, and he's starting to talk smack. And he says, "I've been wanting to fight a cop in the cage." I said, "Actually, I'd like to take you up on that." "Oh, you would?" "Yeah, I would." So he immediately like, "Okay, well, how do I get a hold of you?" I said, "I'm at the police department. Come down and see me." Right. So the next day or so, a couple days later, I'm driving through the alley and he's out there being the dipshit again. And he sees me coming and he walks over and he says, "Hey, you ain't retired yet or you haven't resigned yet?" And I said, "Have you signed that waiver yet?" And he says, "Oh, you really want to do that?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And he says, "You don't understand, man. I'm trained. I'm trained. I'm going to destroy you." And he's got all this big mouth talking full of shit. And he says, "You have no experience in training." I'm thinking to myself, "Bud, you are such an idiot. Like you're automatically just assuming that I don't because I'm out of shape right now. But you have no clue who I am." So naturally, I'm not going to give him my resume because I want him to accept the fight. So I said, "I've got a little bit." Well, my little bit was started when I was 6 years old and went all the way up until I was 43. So I would say I had a little bit. And I said, "But it's okay." And he says, "I'll destroy you." And I said, "Okay, well, I think you're full of shit, but okay, let's do it." So he kind of like wanders off, right? So I never could kind of get anything, I didn't know how to get a hold of him. I didn't care, right? I didn't want his phone number. I didn't want to be able to. So I think, what can I do to get his attention to do like a formal call out so that he'll accept it, right? And nobody really knew anything about it because he sure wasn't going to publicize it because he knew he was never going to fight and he knew I'd called his bluff. So I'd had this channel for, I don't know, probably a couple years technically turned on, but I had never really done anything with it. I'd done like one gun review, maybe two or something. And and I knew his ego would kill him. It would kill him if I was to call him out, right? So I'm thinking, "Oh, you know what's happening, right? I'm going to make a video." And I'd actually started running. And in the meantime, after I'd already set up everything, I knew that I had to get all my ducks in a row because I knew if I let him any wiggle room whatsoever, he's going to back out. So at first I contacted Mike Sark, who I've known Mike for years. Mike and I kind of had a professional respect, mutual respect in the fight game type thing. Mike had a little bit of jiu-jitsu and boxing and I did too. And we kind of knew each other through that. And we trained a little bit together, different places and stuff, because I knew how to get a hold of him, whatever. Excuse me. And so I contacted Mike and I said, "Hey, I heard you're doing a promotions now, and you're doing that, with DCC cage fighting and stuff. And let me tell you what my goal is and what my plan is." And he immediately says, okay, let's do it. I said, I just want to make sure you was okay with it. So then I contacted Zach Wilds, who is the jiu-jitsu instructor and an MMA instructor in Ashland, Kentucky at Tator MMA, where I trained. And I said, hey, here's what's up. And he says, come on back, bud. He's like, we get you. I said, because I even asked him, I said, do you think you got a chance to turn an old fat guy into a fighter again? And he says, yep, come on back. So now I've got everything lined up, right? Wife's approval, chief's approval, got the cage fighting venue set up. And I got my gym set up where I had a jiu-jitsu instructor, a kickboxing instructor, and the gym time was lined up. I went ahead and arranged a corner crew, the whole 9 yards, right? And I was ready. So now, how am I going to get this back? So I had no way to be able to get it back to this guy. And Mike, you were around through all this stuff too, and you were seeing what kind of chaos he was kind of creating down there and acting like a jerk. And he was certainly kind of making himself known down there, and he thought he had the kind of the town on his side, but what he really had was he had a lot of people who didn't like him, and he was too arrogant to see that. Is that a fair assumption, Mike? Would you say that he was probably too arrogant to realize that he was probably not as received as well as he thought?
But oh, absolutely. And the other thing is like that same time, he kept running into people that were calling him out and ready to fight him, and he was just he would freak out. There was like the peddlers incident, and then the one across from the city building. But
Yep.
I didn't find out. I was driving down the street one day. I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And then someone told me, and I looked at his videos. I was like, "Oh, dear
Hey, Dark
God."
Watch, how are you, sir? Yeah, he was something special to say the least.
Both those boys he came close with would have killed him themselves.
Oh yeah. He's not a fighter. I've said that all along.
No.
But that's kind of what led us up to the video that I want to share. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here now. And for anybody who's been one of my subscribers for a while may recognize this. But let's go ahead and watch this together. It's only 6 minutes and something long, so let's watch. I just got done with a run. I done a little trail run tonight. It's kind of muddy too. It's raining a little bit here today, so it's kind of like trail's kind of nasty, but not bad for what was I called a fat POS. I don't know. I don't really care. The reason I want to make this video is this. I've been thinking a little bit. Been thinking about the whole MMA thing. Now I guess the newest thing that he's saying is that they can't do an MMA fight, that it has to be a grappling match, which I'm down with, but we can make that happen. We can do the MMA fight. I've actually already spoken to some promoters, and I don't think it's gonna be a problem. So if you're still willing, I am. And I want to say this. Actually, I want to add a little spice to it. You say I'm untrained and I'm you're gonna squash. I don't know what you said. Squash me or beat me, whatever. I don't know. I usually don't listen to people run their mouth. But here's my official offer. I've been back in the gym just a little bit, but I'll admit I'm nowhere near ready for fight shape. 43 years old. It's gonna take me a little while. It's been over 20 years since I've done anything this kind of training over a long period of time, so it's going to take me a little while. But I will say this, I'm confident, as you say you are, and I've already talked to a fight promoter, and there's an MMA event that's being scheduled for Ashland, Kentucky in September, and I think we can work that out. Now, you originally said you want to do this for charity, and so do I. That's the only reason that I have any interest in doing it. Not out to make any money or get followers like other people I know.
I'm interested in this. I'm interested in doing it for a good cause. And because I keep hearing that no cops ever want to take you up on the offer. But it's funny because, like, I know like several that actually have, and you always find a reason to back out. So if you really are so confident, here's my wager. You want to donate to your charity if you win. If I win, I want to donate to mine. I want to donate to the FOP as our charity. If I win. You said I was fat, out of shape, weak, whatever. I don't know what you said. You should be super confident to do this. And I will say this. I'm absolutely certain that we can keep this wager going even more too if you'd like. I think in the Thor and Eddie fight, they even wagered a tattoo to the loser. I could think of a tattoo that you could get after I beat you. But back on the training thing a little bit. I actually stayed out of the weight training gym today. Today was just jiu-jitsu. And like I said, I've done a run this evening, a little trail run in the mud. So now I got my shoes all muddy. So my wife's probably not going to be real happy with me. But nevertheless, I'm working pretty hard to get myself back to fight shape and feeling really good. I'm actually starting to kind of get back into the groove a little bit, starting to feel it a little bit. This is a good thing. So I'm ready to go. We can sit down and actually work out the details of this. I'm sure you'll want to video all of it so that you can add followers or be able to dissect everything on your own forum so that you make yourself out to look like some kind of hero. But that's okay. I don't really care. I do want to say in closing, this whole thing is about me. In no way or no time is this any reflection of my job, my position, or my department. This is on my own personal time, my own personal opinions and statements. I'm just practicing my First Amendment right. So, come on, let's get together and do this. You kept saying you were serious. Matter of fact, on one of your videos when you come up to me while I was at work, because, well, some of us have to actually do that. You said that, well, you were very serious about it. And then you made the statement, well, it looks like goo. My name's actually pronounced goo, but it's okay. I know you're probably not real up to date on any kind of dialect or pronunciation. So, you said that I'm up for doing something for charity. Well, you're right, I am. And my jiu-jitsu instructor's on in. I got my fight camp put together. I've already got my my entire team put together for all my strength conditioning, for all of my fight training as far as ground game, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, all of it. It's already put together. So I guess we'll see if you really are such a tough guy that's all about that life. Oh, I guess I don't have cauliflower in my ear. Guess that means I don't grapple. I guess I'll see. Have a good day.
All right, so just to kind of give a little bit of background on that, a little bit of understanding of what that was all about. Yes, my idea was I was going to have him get a tattoo that says I support the Thin Blue Line. And that was my intention, but he wouldn't go for that. He was too big a chicken shit. And And he was also, as far as I seen, Lisa said something about behind the scenes, a little bit of stuff. You know, he did. He messaged me a few times when he realized that things were starting to get closer, and you basically, it's funny because he showed a lot of our messages back and forth in one of his streams when he was bitching. Um, and then he says, you know, but he sure did keep turning away from it when he would say things like, he told me that things needed to change, and the torture cuffs have to go, he says. And then he says that he knows that I'm a tough guy, and you know, he knows that you know, that I'm a fighter and stuff, and that basically that, you know, he was starting to kind of backtrack a little bit. But then he tells me that that I could lead this charge for the revolution of change and stuff, and that if I led, he would follow me and all this shit. But you know, I never did really, and this is the first time I've ever actually spoke about that, because that's never been my game to try to call anybody out, you know, in private conversations. Um, yeah, he was Chille was never a fighter. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a dose of reality here. Chille was never a fighter. He did probably he probably did wrestle a little bit in school. You know, he does have a little bit of damage to his ear. You know, I've seen. You know, and that, and just for the record, cauliflower ear is different in people. Some people are super susceptible to it, and it comes really, really fast. I've seen it actually come as many as just a couple weeks. And then other people, they can go and train for years and years and years and years, and they never get a bit. And I've never had any. Like I've had my ears squashed and literally about killing me, and it never did cause me any problems. So, but I knew he wasn't a fighter. I knew the way he was talking, he wasn't a fighter. And the closer we got to it, the more he started kind of showing his cards a little bit with frustration and his level of what's the word I'm looking for here? His panic, I guess, would be the thing. You could tell he was starting to kind of panic when he knew things were getting close. So yeah, he was never a fighter. But that was my first video, folks. That was my first video that I'd actually posted to do anything about this. He I don't think he really anticipated. But let me tell you what happened. And the reason that everything took off, and the reason that a lot of you people are in here with me right now, is I got contacted by somebody who was a very, very nice person that a lot of you guys know. And she told me that a guy that ended up becoming one of my mentors in this game wanted to talk to me. She said a guy running a channel called Keeping It Criminal wanted to talk to me and asked me to be on his show. And that was Miss Mandy 777. And she asked me to be part of it. And I said, yes, I would love to. And I actually got to do my first live stream with Kick. And we had a good time. And next thing I know, he actually he grew my channel. He grew my channel immediately just from being on his stream. I went from having like 3 or 4 subscribers to probably 100 in a day. And then it just kept kind of going from there. And yes, Lisa, kick rocks. Absolutely. But it was so cool because I was accepted by all you guys so much from day one, and it blew my mind. I was like, you guys like made me feel welcome somehow. And I'm nobody at all. Like, I'm like, you know, and I'm thinking I'm just going to whip his ass. But if I can do it, make a lot of friends, then I'm going to do that too. And I'm going to have a good time with it, because he needs somebody to slap the piss out of him, in my opinion. And I thought, and I'm just the right guy to do it. So I was really, really excited about it. And I got to make a lot of friends. Well, through that chain of events, I met Derek from Bits and Pieces. And I met Terry, Iron Auditor. And I met Irish Demon, and I met a bunch of others, including Team Skeptic and a bunch of others. And I started making a lot of friends in a lot of different places. And Johnny over Plot Hole and several other people had me on. Was on Masshole. and stuff, and then everything, and that was back when it was still Massel. I think they've changed all of that now. I can't ever keep up with anything, but yeah, things kind of started. You were number 9. Oh, I've seen this. Epiphanies was number 9. You were my number 9 sub. Is that what you're saying? That's awesome, man. That is so cool. Hey, Blue Fam just popped in to say, absolutely. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all you guys. You guys are so awesome. Kevin, I'm doing good. We're talking about 2022. We're going to reminisce a little bit. We'll have fun with it. And hopefully we'll be able to share some more video clips and stuff here in a little bit as we go. But so far, that's kind of where we were. And then as things kept unraveling and more people kind of started jumping on it, and then more people were interested in, the videos that I was doing, talking about the training and stuff. And they really just wanted to see him get his ass whipped, I think. And it's funny because he says things like, "Oh, you wouldn't have a channel if it wasn't for me." And I'm like, I know. You're right. You're right, Chille, you dumbass. Because the reality is, everybody despises you so much, they just started liking me because I was going to beat your ass. But thanks a lot. Eating Beaver, what's up? So it's like, he's like, well, you're anything with my name on it. It's like, do you realize that's not a compliment, right? Because it's not fame that you think you're recognizing. It's infamy, dude. People don't like you. And it's like, I know you think you got 50,000 subs, but probably 45,000 of them only watch you for the train wreck. They don't like you. I mean, sorry, but this is true.
Well, his little brain is simply, any attention is good attention.
Any attention, yeah, absolutely. I believe that too. I believe that. Yeah. Let's see I'm trying to read here. Stay on the chat. Dave says the Chille fight may have brought you to our attention, but you kept us here, even though the fight never. Man, that's awesome. Thank you very much, man. That means a lot. And I enjoy hanging out with you guys so much, man. I mean, you guys really are a huge motivation to me. And as a matter of fact, I started training again this past week and started lifting again. I haven't started fight training again yet because of my knee, but I have been lifting a little bit, and I've been actually doing a little bit of deadlifts and a little bit of squats, surprisingly. Not heavy by any means, but my knee is actually working. It's cracking and popping, and it makes a terrible noise, but it's actually working relatively without pain. So I might be back in the jiu-jitsu gym pretty soon. We'll see how that goes. But I'm really excited. I'd really like to get back in there because I feel so much better when I'm training. I mean, I think anybody that probably gets in that groove realizes what I'm talking about. It really did make you feel so much better. So, but yeah, so things just kind of started spiraling for me, in 2022, my wife and I were kind of, we were trying to keep track of everything, because things started going crazy. And next thing I know, like the YouTube channel is kind of taking off and stuff, and I'm having fun with that. I'm making a lot of, I'm making a lot of friends. But it was a good time. So, Delete Laws, is that the real one, or is that I'm guessing probably not, because I can't imagine him relaxing ever. Oh man, see, yeah, this is actually the real one. Just so everybody knows, Chille is not the real Delete Laws. This one right here. And actually, I didn't know if you guys knew this, but he actually supplied me with trifolds that I have built a compound around my house to protect it from a nuclear strike. Because it's it's completely indestructible.
That's hysterical.
And just anybody who I don't know if I've ever actually touched on this before, but let me tell you this, okay? That trifold, and I'm a police officer. I've been a police officer for a long time. He is so wrong on most of that stuff in the meaning of it anyway. Okay, he's so full of shit that you may as well take that and wipe your hind end with it. Just it's nothing to do with it. He's so. Hey, Witch of Heart, how are you? He's so full of shit. But nevertheless, he allowed me to be able to meet you guys, and that made me really happy. So, Does it get you out of tickets? No, sorry, it doesn't get you out of tickets. Well, yeah, they were made of, yeah, absolutely. See, Delete Law says, remember, they were made of space age Kevlar polymer. That's what makes it indestructible. Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah. Hey, Jeremiah, how are you, buddy? Christina, how are you?
Who was the tuber that just cut him up? Was that Skeptic that just took one and used scissors to it?
I'm sure a bunch of people have, to be honest. It's not, it's not a feat. He's a moron.
No.
We actually, with the police department, we actually like printed off. We printed them off and was like hanging them up and stuff around the police department as a joke. And a couple of us, like Evan was actually carrying one around his pocket. And if you remember that time that the other two morons come down there with him and were causing trouble out there in the city building.
Yep.
And Evan literally pulls one out of his pocket and shows him, because he was trying to ask Evan questions, and he pointed at the part where it says, "I don't answer questions." I was like, oh my gosh.
That's brilliant.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is a lot of these guys, man, I don't know. I think a lot of times they were lunch money victims in school. Put a one in the chat if you think Chille was a lunch money victim, and be real. Do you think honestly somebody stole his lunch and literally pulled his underwear over his head in school? Because there's no doubt he's got a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, Josh. Okay, yeah, I do remember that, Tank Girl. I think it was Josh that actually scissored it. Actually, I think I sent a link to Josh tonight too, but he's I guess he's too good for me now, so I'm gonna probably have to really start trolling the shit out of him. So be prepared, Abrams. You brought this on. Don't forget that, buddy. You brought this on, because now I'm gonna start doing breakdowns of your videos. I'm gonna do breakdowns of your videos, and I hope that clerk lady. That's your next fight. You want to fight bits and pieces, Josh Abrams? You want to fight bits and pieces? No. I'm going to schedule a friggin' cage fight with you and that friggin' clerk that was going to whip your ass in there. That's what's going to be up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was definitely a dunce cap. He probably ate paint chips too, if I had to guess. Based on the way his attitude was. So, but anyway, so as we kept going and we started doing the training videos and stuff, and everybody started hanging out with me a lot more and stuff, and we had a good time. And then the craziest thing happened to me. I hit 1,000 subs and I got monetized, and I was like, what the heck? Like, I didn't even know what that really was like. What the hell does it even mean? Like, I don't even understand how that works. Right. And it was so crazy to realize that people were referring to me as a YouTuber now. And I'm thinking to myself, like, no, I'm not. I just make videos to F with Chille, right? Like, I mean, I'm not really a YouTuber. I just do it. And I don't do it. I shouldn't say that. I didn't do it to F with Chille. I done it to hold Chille accountable. I wanted to make sure that I was keeping content out there in regards to that potential fight, because I didn't want it slipping under the rug and him finding a way to forget it. If he was going to back out of it, he's going to have to back out of it, not just because it went away. And that was my goal. And that's what I kept going and kept doing. And then as it continued, I started realizing that a lot more people seemed to kind of care what I had to say, or like wanted to see my videos. And then I started getting emails, and a lot of stuff really, really touched me a lot, with a lot of guys contacting me saying, you inspired me to get back off the couch. I'd been down and out, I'd been injured, whatever. You actually, and your motivational stuff that you say has actually picked me up for the day. And I was in a really dark place, and I watched your videos and stuff. I'm going, wow, really? Like, and I just really started like kind of opening my eyes to, we can all do this. It's not just me. You got the opportunity to speak something nice to somebody, do it, man. Cause you never know when it actually might matter, right? Like, it really might matter. So now's your chance, right? You got the opportunity to pat somebody on the back, do it. If you have the opportunity to bless somebody, open a door. You guys have heard my videos. What am I talking about? You guys could probably, I guarantee, put some in the chat. I guarantee somebody in the chat can comment right now and actually finish my freaking comments. I guarantee it, what I say in my videos. But nevertheless, and then, I get to meet, obviously, Sovereign and Terry and stuff, and they came out and hang out, and JL come out, and Irish Demon, and Irish is such a freaking great dude, man. And and it's just been such a good time, and and I've been so blessed by the YouTube community. As a matter of fact, the computer that I'm on right now was donated to me by Kick. He actually purchased this computer to me, and it was funny because I had no clue. And he sent me a text one day. He goes, "Hey man," he said, "What's your address?" Or no, I'm sorry, he'd already sent me a shirt, and so he had my address, and he says, "Hey, be watching for a package in the mail in a day or so." And I was like, or in a couple of days or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact exchange. And I said, okay. And I was thinking, well, he might be sending me some more, keeping it criminal type stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And he said, you're going to be getting a laptop. And I was like, what? And I don't know why, I just didn't really process it. Right. So then I go and in the next couple of days, I actually got it in the mail, and I realized he had actually bought me a brand new laptop, man. And I was like, why? I mean, just blew my mind. Right. And I was blown away by the fact that this guy, had made such an awesome gesture, to me, like, and he told me, he's like, dude, you become such an important part of our community. He's like, it's like, keep doing what you're doing. I just want to help if we can. I was like, wow. I mean, it humbled me so much to realize, that not only did he support me, but that he was actually like willing to kind of step out there and financially invest in me making videos. And it just blew me away. Kick has been a blessing to me. So, and if you have not checked out Keeping It Criminal, I know we've only got a handful in here tonight, but if you've not checked out Keeping It Criminal, do yourself a favor, go over there, check it, just go ahead and subscribe. You're not going to be sorry. You're not going to be sorry. You're not going to be sorry to subscribe to Keeping It Criminal. Kick's a good dude. I know that he and Sovereign, I guess, had a little exchange the other night. Mike, did you know anything about that, Mike? Had you heard anything or about the?
I heard about it, but I haven't dug in.
I haven't either. And honestly, I've kind of avoided it on purpose.
Yes.
Because I like them both. And I didn't really want to kind of go through that. One of my mods, take that nasty stuff off there, please. Somebody in the chat. Yeah, I was kind of the same way. I didn't really want to have to deal with it or whatever, because it was, no doubt in my mind that it was, I would be caught in a rock on a hard place, watching that one, because I think highly of both of them.
Same.
So that was kind of where I was at.
That and I stay out of the flat earth arguments and all that. I just kind of steer away from things that I would probably get into for no reason.
Right. I understand. I absolutely understand.
I see no value. There's no value added for me, put it that way.
That's how I feel, because it's like, I kind of feel like no matter what, I'm going to kind of, like, to me, it really doesn't change anything for me. You know what I mean? Because like, no. Do I believe there's a flat earth? No, but it's not worth getting upset over it and arguing.
No. That's how I feel. So much of that stuff is just is a waste of. It's just a waste of energy because it doesn't matter.
Exactly, and
it matters. Like, okay, so all of us are here on Earth. Let's treat each other well. I'll do stuff like that.
Exactly. So, and that's how I feel. It doesn't really matter to me, what shape the Earth is. So, but ultimately, it's not worth hurting somebody's feelings over it or having a disagreement over something silly that's so irrelevant to me anyway. Anyway, let me pull up Jeremiah's comment here because I can't see it all. What's going on? Captain Chad has just recently gave me words of encouragement that has helped me in my darkest times. Just recently, anything that God blesses him and his family. That. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. And that's the thing is, I'm learning, man. This whole thing's kind of a new thing to me, and I'm blown away by the amount of people that actually care, like what my dumb butt has to say anyway, because it's like, man, I have no clue what I'm even doing. So But I want to go back over here and I want to see if I can find something else, Mike. If I can, I'm going to try anyway.
Well, you're looking for that. You remember this all started like early March sometime when
Yes.
he showed up?
Yes.
And everything, so much happened so quick. I mean, like, and really to pay attention to all the people that he was attacking and then watch the reactions and everything, that was happening in a small little frame of time. And then,
Right.
And then he still had sticking power. Somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what's funny too is I think a lot of times with him, I think it really is the train wreck effect, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people really don't really care, you know. But yeah, because I think sometimes, I'm a desperate person to. I just let anybody look at this crazy hippie that I've just let up here on the damn panel with me.
I'm not responsible for. I'm only responsible for what I say, not for what you don't understand.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Well, Sovereign, how's your day been, buddy?
Oh, it's been really good, man. We've been having a really great day around here. It was up 70 degrees.
Oh, isn't it crazy?
Like
65 here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a rubber band snapback. You know, we had people freezing water in the air just a couple of days ago, and then all of a sudden, bam, we're like in early spring, mid-spring weather. I was outside in a t-shirt playing ball with the dogs. It was like,
I think we hit -1 in town. Chad, you're out in the country a little bit. You probably even got a little colder, didn't you?
Yeah, I never seen anything on in my cruiser or anything. The lowest I seen was 0.
Yeah, I saw -1 on my back porch. I was like, oh God.
well, to me, it's sort of like when it gets to a certain temperature, it's like it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It sucks. It's like it gets down to like 40, and anything below 40 is just like suck.
No, dude, at 35, we're wearing shorts again.
No kidding. Hey, Sovereign, look at Nightman's wife's comment here. Because I was were your ears burning, buddy? Because I was just talking about you.
No, it didn't. I mean, well, I don't know, kind of, because I was on my stream. I had a stream.
Oh, okay.
And I was going on, and then it was like, then you sent that thing, you sent the link, and I was like, damn, I'm on my stream right now. And then I got off on a tangent, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to get off here. I wonder what Chad's talking about, you know, and it was like about that time.
It's like saying Beetlejuice.
So what were you saying?
That's what I said. It's like that's gonna be his new. That's gonna be Sovereign's new name is Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
As I said his name 3 times. But we do realize though that if according to the real delete laws, not the fake one that's Chille, the real delete laws says if you use the trifold, we could shoo the hippies away.
No, you can't. We'll just roll joints out of it, man.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you can just smoke that shit. So, so I'm gonna have Sovereign in a minute pull up a video, if you will, in a minute. But while before we do that, I want to watch another video that allowed me to make another friend, and another partner in the community here, and that is this is how I was introduced to Derek. I did not know Derek. And because I did not know Derek, I was not familiar with his channel. But he had actually went to the auction.
Which was brilliant.
Brilliant. And he kept Chille on his toes. So let's see if we can make sure I've got that up there. See. Yes, I do. Okay. Let's do this. Let me see. I'm going to try to jump to the point
here a little bit earlier because there's supposed to be 1,000 some people here, according to Chille, that's going to be protesting this.
He fell a little short of 1,000.
I'm expecting great things. I know it's earlier than I usually stream, but well, streaming's new for me again. It's all new, but I'm excited. I'm really excited. Sweetie's going to be here. And yeah, if you guys watched last night, I posted another interview with Mr. Sweetie DeCastro of Delete Laws, and Yeah, you guys seem to like it pretty well. But today, as promised, I am here at the Ironton Lawrence County impound, where we will be.
All right, let's skip ahead here because I want you guys to see this.
Happy birthday to you.
Well, it's
Why
not
is
my
the
birthday,
cake
but thank you. Okay, so
That was actually one of our police.
Earning your
Oh
degree
my
online
gosh.
is closer than you think. Apply today to Purdue University.
Pay for premium, you cheap ass.
See, I was expecting thousands of people. It's good to have that confirmation from the police themselves. What a fucking idiot, man. What an idiot. Where is this bastard? What is his deal, man? You don't say you're going to be there and not be here. You know?
all right, so we're gonna go ahead a little bit because I want to get to the
That's
point where I'm
fine. I
gonna get-
appreciate it. But I knows Terry pretty well. If you guys haven't checked already, go back and watch last night's video where we interviewed him. It was pretty interesting. Yeah. Again, guys, feel free to hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. I would definitely appreciate it. All right, making one more round here at the
And by the way, that still applies. If you have not checked out Bits and Pieces, please do so. Derek's a great guy and his content's great. You will enjoy it. Let me get to the point here where he actually gets to where Chille makes his first sexual advance. That's why I was going to get Sovereign to pull up and his video in a minute, because we start seeing a trend here, don't we, Sovereign?
Oh my, yes. Yes, it's almost like a hopeful thing with him. With the, you know, don't you dare pry my butt cheeks apart. Don't you dare look at my. Don't you dare put me in handcuffs and look at my butt. You know, and
Oh my gosh.
he's almost like the woman with the overt bosom at a
She's
party,
there in 2 minutes, huh?
going, "Don't look at my tits that I'm pushing up in your face.
No,
Don't
kidding,
look at
yeah.
my, you know."
He's on Park Avenue, and he's just around the corner from me. There is a fenced-in area with the auction. I don't think he'll go in there, honestly.
But he did
I
actually.
don't know what would happen to him if he goes in there. I'm assuming it's going to be bad.
Well, he teetered on, let's say, a good country ass whooping the whole time he was in city, but to be honest, yeah, he definitely drew some negative attention to himself.
Well, let's put this in context. The day before, he was down around the city building. His van was parked down by where Judge Waldo keeps his work trucks at, that area.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he got out of his car, got back in his car to put his gun back in his car. And on that same stream, he said, "I want 500 to 1,000 people at the impound lot." And he said, "And I want you to come armed through that." So he's like, "Why are all the cops here?" I'm like, "What, you dumbass? You were calling on 500 people to come down with guns. That's why."
Well, we have to realize that he's not exactly the brightest bulb in the pack there, you know.
Well, he never brings that up. You told
Oh,
people
no.
to bring guns.
Well, he's a professional victim, Mike.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
And that's who he goes to.
Absolutely.
He seeks out other victims and things.
He certainly does. Certainly does. Let me
It's fixed now. I fix it.
let me see if we can get Derek up to speed
It
here.
just fell off when I was just messing with it. I am like a kid. I'm a big kid. This guy is definitely doing this for the view. What is Chille doing it for? Is he doing it to save the world? What's going on? What's going on? I mean,
Yes, Derek. Didn't you
doesn't
know?
everybody do this for views and clicks? I mean,
See, this shows Derek's complete ignorance, because obviously he doesn't realize that he's talking about a damn game changer, folks. He's talking about somebody who's a real a pioneer. You know, this is a game changer we're talking about here. We're talking about Chille, okay? Come on, Derek, get with it.
is that what he's not doing? Grifting and begging for money? is the police chief there? Because then he'll show up and he has backup. So there's choice. He does have some fake masculinity there. Let me. Huh. Well, that's not good. Can't roll my window up. You're a super big kid. If you know what I mean. I know what I mean, bootlicker. I'm a big boy. I'm not debating that. I'm a huge guy. Just going to say, you're not hurting my feelings by calling me fat. I know what you mean by that. I'm not completely stupid. All right. Let's see our boy. Oh, there he is. Sweetie!
That's awesome.
Sweetie is here, guys. He didn't lie.
That's right,
Sweetie
Nightman's
is
wife.
Here.
Alpha game changer, remember. Hey, Art, how are you? Burns, Austin?
Be right back. Hey, we'll plug this motherfucker in.
Let's see. What a dumbass. He's getting ready to get his ass kicked.
Already.
Oh my God, is it going to happen? Hey, sweetie! Hey, sweetie! Hey, sweetie! Hey, sweet cheeks! Hey, fuckface! Hey, sweetie! Sweetie! Give me a minute, sweetie! What happened?
He's on my property. I told him to get off my property.
You know, we're going to kick his ass. Hey, don't. It's not worth it.
Don't make him leave. Don't make him leave. I'm the littlest motherfucker here.
Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. How are you doing, sweetie? How are you today? How are you doing, Captain
short
Spooge,
that
King
little fucker
Spooge,
is.
Fuckface McGee? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, sue me. Sue me. I'm actually the troublemaker. I am. Hey, listen. Listen, I'm using my First Amendment to protest you. Hey, fuckface. Fuckface. Do you believe in the First Amendment? Are you gay? Do you suck dicks? I am an idiot.
Get out of my way.
Are you with him?
Huh?
That's
Are you
a
with him?
Freeman.
No, I'm not with him. I'm with me.
Are you for him?
You know, you're a rude, crude,
Ain't that Kent
foul
Freeman?
mouth
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a rude, crude, foul mouth fat ass.
That's right. That's what you are.
That's what I am. That's exactly what I am. That's what I am.
Give me your card. I'm going to sue you, brother.
Of course
he's
you
gonna
are.
Sue everybody here, guys. He's ready to sue everyone.
Oh, there's those shoes you were talking about. Look at that.
Bye, sweetie. Bye, sweetie.
Oh my God.
Hey.
Whoa, there's the crime, Chad. Pause that for a second. Back that up. Let me see them fucking kicks again.
You hear that? Hey, guy, he
That's
wants
what
to
I
fuck me in
said.
the ass.
Absolutely. I told you.
Those
you,
kicks, there's where the crime was at. Where's the fucking clown that he stole those from? There's your victim.
I think we're the victims there, bro.
I'm like, who the fuck did you steal those clown shoes from, you retard? Jesus, who dresses him?
He's something else.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
so he starts making sexual advances at Derek.
Ass. He wants to fuck me in the ass, guys. I'm using
gay.
my First Amendment rights being, trampled on because he wants to fuck me, guys. He wants to fuck me.
Nobody else would.
I mean, would you?
I'd fuck you, Derek. Why not? Right?
Hey, you can't blame Chille. Derek's a handsome fella.
Hey, put him into torture cuffs. Put him into dungeon. Torture cuffs.
Well, I've been scared of that. Right now, they've already asked me that.
Look at this guy. He's on top, guys. This guy is on top. You heard him, right? This is amazing.
This is pure joy for Derek.
Oh yeah. See,
Hey, he wants to.
oh, see, he just said that if you guys catch that, he said I can't actually fight a cop. We have to have a wrestling match because we can't get a venue. Well, guess what, Big Mouth? Old Daddy found one just after this, remember? So don't forget that. Well, you was a big hero there, though, until I literally called your little ass out on it. I'd have fucking beat the...
To sign papers to do that. He wants to sign papers to do that so he can get
No,
some
he
money.
doesn't.
Don't let him fuck you in the ass, guys. He will.
Jesus Christ, Derek.
I'm 50 years old. I guarantee you can pack a ass. I'm 63. I'll take you. Huh? I'll take you. We didn't see you get your ass kicked. Oh, we over this way?
Yeah, two more. Two.
Empty your pocket. Let's go.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Here we go.
Ah, fucking police had to screw it all up. Could have had to get
It's not going to happen. He's just going to walk away. Walk away, buddy.
Yeah, he's full of shit.
He wanted
he's
to
with
fight.
Chille.
Oh, hell.
Hey, he didn't want to fight.
He's getting plowed in the ass by Chille.
So that kind of gives you an idea, you know, how that got started. So and Sovereign, I was going to have you pull up your original, if you could, if you don't mind.
I can pull up the original video. It was
Yeah, the one where
the first.
Yeah, the one where you we're, like I said, we're just doing a 2022 reflection here. So
let's see if I can go back here. So okay, so let's see this. So I had only I'm gonna go ahead and just share my screen.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
if
you
you
can
would.
see that. You got her?
Okay, I
There it
got you
is.
when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead and pull it up. I just want to show you that, like, this first video right here, this was like the first one I did was like 6 years ago, and it was how to roll a really cool joint that it's like it looks like a deer antler, basically. And so you got two joints that end up burning down into one joint. It's a pretty cool thing. We used to do it at parties in the 80s and shit. Couple on hummingbirds, not a whole lot. I got discouraged here because I put one, see here where the MK Ultra and Skippy, and it was like his alter ego and shit. I started talking about that stuff that had to do with pizza and egresses and things, you know, and they censored the shit out of me. And I went, well, fuck YouTube, you know, fuck YouTube, you know. So then years went by, and then this is what happened. So I'll go ahead and I'll put this video up. Let me put it at the beginning, of course. And
now this is the one where you read his emails, right? Back and forth.
Right. See,
Okay,
now
okay.
I wasn't set up on a system like I have right now. This was just my cell phone. And my whole thing was this. It was like the way he responded to me. I was like, no way. People need to know you are anything but a fucking scholar. Take a look at this shit.
Oh,
you know,
he's a dipshit. Yeah.
And so this is where it went with that. And it's just a short.
So some of you may be familiar with a guy on the internet, just kind of popped up out of nowhere on YouTube by the name of Chille de Castro. He's got a channel called Delete Laws, and it's real clever because it's spelt with a Z. Well, watch out for this guy. Wow. I started watching some of his videos because
Hey, Roseanne.
idea of the Constitution and how they subvert it is very interesting to me. So I started watching this guy, and I'm like, wait a minute, man. That's not true. That's not when that happened. That's not how that happened. A whole bunch of other stuff. He sits there claims he's a constitutional law scholar. Well, all that means is you're studying it. Doesn't mean you know it. Okay. So you couldn't have been studying it very long, because you would have noticed that there's a UCC overlay
Hey,
over
Chris.
the Constitution. This is why every time you go to court, you're charged with a code, right? Virginia revised statute. It's all uniform commercial code. But either way, I gave the guy the benefit of the doubt, and I thought, you know what? I'll try and help him out a little bit, maybe point him in that direction. It could really help him out quite a bit. Well, you know, I can understand not understanding that, scene as how you're so busy being a Hollywood producer, an MMA fighting champion, fucking astronaut, whatever the hell else, constitutional law professor, all this other crap that you've never been. I mean, come on. You're some twink from West Hollywood. I mean, Jesus, I've been to West Hollywood. I know a lot about what's going on there. So, you know, you come in. I thought I'd try to help you. And today I sent a message to Chille through a text message. And I told him, I says, hey, bro, I said, I've lost a lot of respect for you, man. You wussed out. You could have gone there and just faced your charges. You're supposed to be all this constitutional law and all this other crap. And you ran like a little scared little girl. Dude, get out of here. What is your grift? So anyway, his response to that was to send me disgusting shit through text. Let me get this out. I can show it to you. This is really something else. This guy, wow. So let me get over here. So I says to him, I says, dude, you pussed out. You look like a fraud. His response was, wanna suck me off. I'm close.
Because, I mean, who doesn't automatically just go to that?
Then he asked me, what's my address? And then sends me a picture of a chest. Okay. I went, wow. So I took a picture of my dog's butthole and sent it back to him. I'm going to show you that. And then he says, oh, you can see that. You want to, right? And then says to suck his testicles. You're obsessed with me. Will you lick my ass? What? I just said what several other people are thinking. Okay. So then I definitely can't show you this because he sent me this picture of some man with his penis half buried in another man's butthole. I don't know what the purpose of that was, but I told him, I says, you'll get plenty of ball sucking. Don't worry. I mean, dude, you're asking for prison. You're asking for jail. You know, they tell you show up to court. You better show up to fucking court. They're going to make an example of you. So then he tells me, I'll come over. You want me so bad. Just say when. XOXOXO. So as I accidentally showed the picture that I was trying not to show. Just responded. I said, so you pushed out over a simple disorderly and trespassing charge, and that's your response to be just a disgusting homo? Wow, dude, get help. I said, I bet your view count drops dramatically over this. You do know that sending unsolicited pornographic material to someone is a federal offense, right, law professor? I mean, this guy, wow. He still has a gun he's carrying around while he's a fugitive. That's going to be another charge. But a fugitive in possession of a gun that's not even his. He hasn't even paid for it. See, he's trying to... And he's since come on alive and said that, yes, indeed, he did fucking lie, and he got Derek to lie and the whole thing. He did that just a couple of weeks ago. A new grift
Really?
time. It's
Yeah,
like,
I
dude,
couldn't keep track of all that.
you are none of
That
these
was-
things. The only talent you have is you just want to push your dumb-looking face up in the middle of a camera. You can't even talk to another person without your stupid face up in the camera like you're some kind of, what the hell are you, man? I mean, and if you know, I lived in California for a little bit too, but I lived in the part where men live. Okay? I lived in the part where men live. You wouldn't last there a day. I lived right in the Mojave Desert. You live down there in Twinkland. I don't even want to think about that sodomistic place, man. Gomorrah, whatever the hell it is. But it's a disgusting city. I got stuck there in traffic and had to sit there and witness two fully bearded men making out at the traffic light. I mean, wow. You know, just drop it off into the ocean as far as I'm concerned. But Chille, You're a fraud, bro. You're a big time fraud. And this little text message right here, that proves it. I mean, you can't even be an adult and try to explain what you're doing or any other thing like that. You just come back with a bunch of homo crap on me. Wow, dude. You're sick. You're sick. Anybody that gets involved with this guy, you better watch the hell out. This guy, holy cow. Holy cow. Anyway, that's all I got for right now. But can you believe that kind of a response? What the hell is wrong with this guy?
He's a friggin' idiot. That's what's wrong with him.
Dude, these headphones are so good. I turned to almost tell my dog Brandy to quit barking. I really did. I thought it was her. Yeah, we've come a long way in production value from that video. I did another one. I was looking for it. I did another one I was looking for where I actually put the text messages and what he sent, and of course, I used a paint program to blur out any of the inappropriate portions of the photographs he sent. It's got a lot more where you can see what I mean. It's like right off the bat, as soon as for some reason, he equates. It's not just that he wants to fight with somebody when he's angry. He wants to rape them. He wants to sexually dominate them. You know, and he's put this forth with Derek, the text messages he sent to me.
He's done with several people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so I wonder, what is it that happened in your past that would make you think that that's a way to punish somebody?
Oh, he's got
like
some. He's got
forced
some
sodomy.
Let's. I want to do this too, real fast, because we're continuing down the the line of the year here. So let's just watch. This is a contract signing July 9th.
Oh,
Where's the doctor? They got me sitting here.
Guess who was there and guess who wasn't?
I was there. Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, we've had a YouTuber that's went around Ironton lately. He's called out wanting to fight a police officer. Well, this gentleman beside of me is the captain of the Ironton Police Department. His name is Chad Goo, and he's took it up on himself to do the contract against Mr. Chille. Chille couldn't make it here tonight because he's in California. So Chad's going to sign the contract.
You can't hear me right there, but I actually say chicken shit.
We'll give the microphone to Chad, let him feel everything out. But first, I want to go ahead and show you, we had a custom-made Nightmare Promotions First Amendment Championship. So this is all about free speech and backing it up.
You know, Chad, I heard you. I heard you say chicken shit, and I leaned over to the old lady. I said, he just said chicken shit. I wonder if that showed up.
That looks awesome, man. Absolutely. We had a guy
That's fucking good.
from like California or something come in our area, and he wanted to run his mouth quite a bit and talk bad about our local police. Not just our local police, but our people around here. And he's got a big mouth. And in September, we're going to shut it. Hillbilly's done. Well, Chad, I guess all we have to do now is sign the contract. Sign your name here. Make some noise for Chad Coon, September 17th, to step in the cage.
I was like, I wonder if anybody heard him say that.
Well,
Turn up the speakers real loud. Yeah, he did. Motherfucker did say chicken shit.
Yeah, fuck him.
Well, exactly.
But yeah. Yeah, shoot.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was like, and even when the actual thing took place. But you know, one of my favorite moments of the last Chille year, I gotta say, and it was bless her heart. It was so great when Chief Wagner would not only arresting Chille, but it was like she
Oh.
was exercising fucking demons out of him and shit, man. I laughed so hard. I had just smoked a bowl and I saw that going on. I was like, what the fuck? She was like, cease and desist. May the power of the Christ repel you and shit.
That's
And I was
right.
like, holy fuck, man.
That's
She's
right.
going down on this guy, man. She's giving him a rough way to go, but it was funnier and shit. I was like, she's not only arresting that motherfucker, she's exercising his ass too, man.
Absolutely.
I liked when she switched when he goes, I'll go with you. And she goes, you will?
Oh, okay.
Boom.
That's cool.
Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, because I think that they were anticipating that he was going to kind of be stupid and and he was going to get adjusted if I had to guess. So, but that's just my guess based on the fact that if he would have fought, he would have lost desperately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was July 9th. And I'm kind of going a different way about this because I wanted to kind of share, through the year of what kind of happened and took place. And as we went along, things started really kind of progressing. And I really didn't anticipate this idiot. Honestly, I really thought that we would keep pushing and he wouldn't have a chance to back out. And that's not at all the case, but so I had a little fun with it, doing some stuff too. So, and this is the kind of stuff that we done, unless we get back up here throughout the year. So, we had to make sure that we, taunted him a little bit occasionally. Oh, sorry. I was not stopping. I was stopping something. Okay, so I got new headphones, but mine are actually really for listening to music instead of just driving around looking weird with them on my head. So yeah, it's like this. I don't have the red glasses though, so and I'm also not 5 foot tall. I'm not this tall. Very short jump. Anyway, we're having a great day today. I start off doing some strength training, getting ready to go take a run. Gonna stay busy, gonna keep pushing as hard as I can. So I haven't heard anything else on the fight flyer or anything, but that should be, the way that I understand, that should be today. I'll check in the promoter later, and if it is, then I'll try to post a video on the community page or something. So stay focused, stay happy, stay positive, do something positive for somebody, pat them on the back, have a wonderful, blessed Saturday. Let's make something great happen today. No excuses. It's up to you. Decisions determine your destiny. What are you choosing? Pat somebody on the back, be somebody's corner man. Train like you fight, fight like you train. God bless. And as we kept going through all this stuff, there was there was actually somewhat of a time there, I will say, where I really did think that maybe, just maybe, he was really going to get taunted into it. Because I was sure trying.
Well, you were under the mistaken idea that you were dealing with somebody who had shame.
True.
And he has no shame. He has no shame. He has a fucking ass full of excuses.
Oh, he's great at excuses, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, man. Well, not really, because he just makes up what he just heard. Like, oh, yeah, it's my knee is hurting too. Yeah, that's what
because he heard mine was.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. He was mad.
His old it's time for Wapner thing came from me making fun of him because I was making fun of him acting like Rain Man when he says shit.
Do you remember when he first?
Yeah, and then he started doing that. I put up a thumbnail of his bald head, the top of his bald head, and then he started wearing a hat and spiking his hair up real high. I made fun of his fucking hair turning gray. The next day, he's got shoe polish in that shit. I'm like, is this guy listening to me or something or what? I mean, I would hate to think so because that's
he does.
creepy.
Oh, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. He can't. He can't take it. He can't take
When-
it. His pride.
You know, and
When
that's
you-
what we were talking about on my show earlier. Is like, you know, I don't give a flying rat's ass what other people think of me or what their opinions are based on their flawed perceptions or whatever. I don't care. That doesn't make me. None of that has any bearing on what I do in my world at all. I don't operate out of consensus of the masses. You know, I
That's what I'm-
operate from my heart. That's where I'm at. Boom. You don't like it? I can be right in a minority of one. I don't care.
That's one of my favorite sayings is what people think of me is none of my business.
Mhm.
And but remember when he first came to town, he had a bad shoulder. You remember that?
I think I
he
do
does.
actually.
Yeah. He had a bad shoulder and he couldn't do certain things because he had a bad shoulder. And that miraculously cured. And then it was the knee after you hurt yours.
Well, I'm sure it was divine because you know he's sent on a mission from God. He's like the Blues Brothers. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're so you don't understand, Mike, because you're not that level of alpha. Okay.
Oh, you're right.
So you're just not understanding. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting to that Nightman's wife. I promise I am. I'm going to laugh my ass off in a minute.
Total gamma. I mean,
Hey,
he's even got the hierarchy wrong. He's a gamma.
I'm stepping away where I can't talk for a little bit, but I'm going to still be listening.
Gotcha.
Sounds good, Mike.
All right, so this is right before the fight was, and you guys can tell. I'd also like to say that Chille said there was no way that I could make the weight for the fight because he said that all of his expertise in physical conditioning and training said that there's no way I could make that weight. Even with the destroyed knee, the day of the fight, I was like 240, and I said at the beginning that I would be in the low 230s at the fight. And there was no way that I can cut 5 to 7 pounds in one day, getting ready for a fight. So let's watch this one because I was super excited and I thought we were going to have something still at this point.
Just real fast.
You poor
naive
fool.
I know I haven't been putting out videos very often recently. I've just had a lot of stuff going on. I'm still training and stuff. It's just been kind of hectic. So, but to let you guys know, I am still pushing hard, still working, trying to make some progress, getting ready. We're down to like 5 weeks, something like that. So I'm super excited. I'm ready to get this done. The fight training is actually getting ready to really intensify. We'll probably go to like 5 days a week completely just in the fight gym. And I'll probably kind of back off of everything else for a while, just to kind of get ready for that final push. And also, I'm going to be switching up my diet now to go ahead and kind of finish off that cut. So we're still going. We're still driven. I want to let everybody know I really do appreciate you guys, everybody reaching out to me and contacting me and all the kind words that people say and pat on the back, I guess. And I really do appreciate you guys. You guys really do mean a lot more than you realize. So just remember, guys, sometimes life gets daily and we have a choice. You know, we can let it get the best of us, or we can choose to get up and keep fighting. So we don't take no for an answer and we don't quit. Just keep pushing. Be somebody's corner man. Look for something positive today. Do something good. Stay blessed. Stay driven. Train like you fight. Fight like you train.
And right after he cut off that camera, he says, "I'm going to squish that little fucking punk's head like a grape."
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking anyway.
I'm a student of human behavior. I know what's going on.
Yeah, he was definitely. Let's just say that I was ready, and I don't think he realizes how ready I was, but I was very ready. But that's okay. So with all that going on, and you guys could see the mood that I was in. I was super excited. I thought things were really going good. And we were really close, or I thought we were really close to being able to have the fight. Because he at this point, he was still like, according to him, you know, he was still going to do this. You know, he had a lot of courage still within him. You know, so you know, and I guess I don't really know what really changed. I don't know, but let's just say that he convinced me that he was really going to fight at this point. So I was really getting excited. And then I get to work one day and I get the call and this happens.
I just want to address something real fast. I normally don't do this type of stuff.
Oh, I remember this.
But I just want to share something with you guys. I guess word's kind of spread now that Chille has backed out of the fight. I guess there's some health problems or something. I don't know. But I just want to tell everybody, if we can stay positive, it really helped me right now. I know that it probably or might not make sense to you guys, but it's kind of a really tough time for me right now. It's a very emotional time. I've put a lot into this. I've sacrificed a lot more than you know. And it's really hard for me. So we are still going to do something good. We're still going to do the belt presentation at the event on the 24th, and we're going to have a meet and greet with some of the other YouTube channels. So we're going to do something positive still for St. Jude's. I'm just asking everybody right now. I don't want to hear all the Chille bashing stuff. It doesn't help me right now. I don't need to hear that right now. So guys, just stay positive, if you will, out of respect for me for now. And keep in mind that there's a lot of times we work really hard for something and we put so much into it that when it doesn't go like we want it to, it's a very big defeat. So I appreciate everybody. I want everybody to know that you guys have been awesome through this whole thing. You guys have been very supportive. I've been blessed to make some relationships that I've made along the way. And I'm going to continue training. And I'm going to continue with the videos and stuff. I might take a little bit of time off right now to be able to kind of clear my head a little bit. But I appreciate you guys. I really do. You guys have meant more than you'll ever know to support me through all this. So I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to. Sometimes we all get knocked down, right? I just got to get back up. So I want to see everybody on the 24th. I still want to see you guys there. We're still going to have fun. We're going to get that belt and we're going to sign it and we're going to auction it off. And we're going to raise some money for St. Jude's. So you guys stay positive, stay blessed, stay focused. And remember, if we train like we fight, we'll fight like we train. I'll see you guys soon.
So that was the day that I actually got the call. And I was pretty heartbroken, man. I'd really worked my ass off at this point. And it really sucked. Because I really thought for sure I was going to get to beat his ass, at this point. But that didn't happen. So, and that's kind of what led us to where we're at, there. So, and what you got to realize, guys, at this point, I really honestly thought, just days before things were really going good. Right. And then all of a sudden, never mind, it didn't happen. And that really kind of sucked. So, it's funny because like I had some big plans, you know what I mean? Like, I thought even Chille showed up, you know what, even if he showed up and he didn't fight, we could still have raised probably even more money, but I think somebody brought this up a minute ago. And when Chille got mad because of, what's his name? Our
Duracell Optimum.
Sovereign. What's the guy's name? Jeebus.
Crisp. Yeah.
He got mad because I guess Jeebus actually said something positive about me, and that you can't do that now. You can't be bragging on me. You can't do that.
He flipped his shit, man. He flipped shit over it. It's like this
he
team.
did.
It's like this team shit. It was like on my stream earlier. Somebody said something about, Oh yeah, and the police in Ironton always pulling people over for a blinker violation, and I was like, yeah, I know that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I think it's bullshit too. You know, I said, but at least you know that when you go to Ironton and a lot of other small towns, a couple of the things you won't have to worry about is tag lights that are out or somebody not using their blinker, because they're going to be following that to every letter of the law. You know. And it's like, you know, yeah, of course it's bullshit. We all know that, you know, so do something about it. You know, that's what I'm saying. Quit bitching about it and do something about it.
But it's funner to bitch.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, everybody's waiting for somebody else to fucking do something. See?
So this is right after the Jeebus thing. Guys, I just kind of want, I'm kind of toying around with this, recording from here and doing a little bit of things different. I just want to touch base with you guys and let you guys know that you know, the belt got up there to my asshole last night, and that was really cool. I didn't get to see it because I crashed out a little earlier. I was exhausted, but hopefully, you know, some good things will come from that. And I want you guys to notice that you know, I did post a picture of my wife's shirt in the community tab that I'm strongly considering, you know, signing and sending to a certain person that's heartbroken over. Okay, so for the record, I didn't do that one because my wife said, "You're not giving him my shirt." But I was actually going to sign the Mrs. Legicator shirt and send it to Chille. The one that's actually, it's one of my shirts that says Legicator on it or something, or I think it's one of the shirts that talks about the fight. And I was going to sign it and send it to Chille, but she wouldn't let me.
Oh man, why not? Come on, what's wrong with you, Miss Legicator?
If I can change that heartbreak, then I'll do it. You know, if I had to send that shirt, I will. Okay. But
now, see, Chad, real quick, that's a good woman you got, man. That's a damn good woman, because think about the heart. Think about her heart. As badly as that man spoke about her, and she still didn't want you to do something she thought would be hurtful to him.
Oh, yeah, she was so worried about his fucking heart.
I know, right? And it's like, holy shit, even though as venomous as he was against her just because of her association with you.
Yeah.
And you had never done a fucking thing to him except accept his challenge.
Yeah, he's the one that even wanted to fight. I didn't. But
I don't get it, man.
I'm hoping to start a little live stream called Freedom Fridays, where I'm going to have a guest come on there with me every week that is a real constitutional guy. That's when we was having Tom on there, and we're going to get back to that for the record, guys. We're going to start having Freedom Fridays again. It's just been hectic through the holidays. Let's see if we can get that going. It'll probably be like 10:30, 11 o'clock on Fridays if I can get it going. I'm still working out details. He's a busy man, so it's still kind of hard, but we're working on things. Okay. Obviously we want to keep Bits in our prayers and keep checking on him. I think they're moving into their new place, and he's trying to set his studio up so he can get back to Bits and Pieces, because we need that Bits and Pieces content coming out. But check in on him, you know, and keep him in your prayers and stuff. You know, he told us all that he was kind of going through some stuff, and we got to remember that this is our opportunity, right? So, but good things are coming. You know, we're still growing, we're still being blessed, and that's just, God is good, and you guys are such an awesome part of my life, and I really appreciate you guys. So, I'm hoping that, hopefully, that I can get back to a full-time training regimen so that I can start feeling better again, because I'm getting fat again. I know that I can feel it because I can't get in the gym like I want to. The knee is still kind of a pain in the butt. It's not so bad just in day to day, like walking and stuff, or even like the slow run. But if I put anything extra on it, or especially like training grappling stuff, you know, where I'm bending my knee a lot, oh man, it's really, really tough. So, and I know I should have already got in the doctor, but I haven't, you know, just because work scheduling and a lot of stuff going on. It's just hard, man. I mean, you know, I don't have the luxury to be able to just to drop everything and go. So, but I promise I will. You know, we'll get it going. So, but for now, we will stay positive and focused, and hopefully keep some new content coming out for you guys. And I'm going to expand some stuff and do some different things too. And I will get back to kind of the firearms type stuff eventually too. I'm just kind of having fun with everything that's going on, and kind of just keeping this random stuff coming in, because it just, when it hits me, I just make a video. So, but you guys will start seeing some more stuff coming out, and hopefully some more different live streams and stuff, and hopefully some more people involved within the next coming weeks, maybe, right? So, but keep tuned, keep posted, and as always, you have to remember we have to stay positive. We always got to look for those opportunities to do something positive and maybe change somebody's day or maybe their life. You never know. You never know how significant the smallest little insignificant thing to you can be to somebody else, right? So always look for those opportunities. Okay. And remember, it's Wednesday, so we're almost there. Let's just get through this week. So as I'm getting older, man, these weeks are longer and longer. But it's all good. So now before we go on, we have to realize that at this point, I didn't know. I had no idea, and I don't know if you knew or not, Sovereign or Mike. I don't know if you guys knew that there was so many more DeCastros out there. But we were introduced to a cousin of,
So I can finally let it fly.
Okay, I feel
of Chille. And
Lyle.
It was overshadowed by his brother Lyle.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
you know, he's trying to grab that limelight, but I think it's more important to get to the down to earth Tator Thot. That's who I like.
Always been something special. I wish my cousin had reached out. What's up,
That's so
playgrounds?
Playground.
Finger gun stuff.
Motherfucker crazy as hell.
Just hit that button. Just hit that.
The only motherfucker accidentally shot himself with finger guns. What?
Wait a minute. Do not give me the idea or Tater the idea of having an accidental discharge with your finger guns.
Hit that.
I was cleaning it.
Hit that button.
That's always fun in the chamber.
Oh my god.
Tator Thoughts, DeCastro. I'm a cousin of Lyle and Chille. And just hit that button right now. Just what's up, playgrounds? What's up, playgrounds? Anyway, I'll tell you what I'm on right now. I remember the history of my DeCastro family. All the way back to
Had to get the nervous scratch in there.
Great granddaddy, Ulysses Margaret DeCastro, that made that pioneering voyage when Christopher Columbus come over on the Mayflower. Well, he's a little bit late. He come over on the August Flower, is a little bit later, but
got snot coming out of my nose.
it was a big deal. He set out to start something new with nothing more than a trifold and a self-driving John boat. Still brings a tear to my eye. Think about all the differences he's made. But us DeCastros have always been something special. I wish my cousin had reached out to me again. I ain't seen him since the family reunion that one time when my mama Norma Jean DeCastro said we wasn't allowed to go back no more. But I'm still here. I'm still here, Lyle and Chille. And just hit that. Just hit the like. Go ahead and hit that like button. Playboys, playgrounds.
Don't point that loaded finger gun at me.
Let's see. I'm trying to get I can't see it. Go ahead and just put a 1 in the chat if you're still here. Just go ahead and put a 1 right there in the chat. Just type just the letter 1. Just type the letter 1 time if you're still here. Hang on a minute. I gotta check my financial. One of my financial partners. Hang on just a second. Mama.
So then we got introduced to a very special cousin, of Chille. Yeah, and there's a lot of love in that DeCastro family.
Looks like that family tree is about like just a stick.
I think it's pretty thin on the way up there.
We'll have to ask Uncle Mom to find out.
Well, what I find interesting about the DeCastro family is it appears that every male in the family actually has a female middle name, like Ulysses Margaret DeCastro. The head of the DeCastro family, the one that made the pioneering voyage across the sea, he missed the boat with Christopher Columbus, and he had to rent him a John boat, but he made it over there, and he brought him a trifold. But it was a big achievement. They've made a lot of changes, a lot of game and channel changes since then, I guess. But that's a real blessing, to be part of that, So,
well,
but
even the pair, I heard he was related to a pirate, even that went by the name of Little Willie Fifi DeCastro.
Really?
Yeah. He was not much of a terror of the sea, and he didn't last long. But...
Oh,
Dear
well,
God.
Yeah.
Is that? I just realized is that 1 in a billion, Mike?
Yes.
He's my friend. Oh my God, yeah.
This is.
I'll tell you what, but yeah, that's great. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take a leak, and I found out that Russia is right back that way, and I'm told by the newspaper that we hate them, so I'm gonna go over there.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be right back.
Okay,
Gotcha.
appreciate that. Yeah. Let's see here, and I'm trying to
Come on, you guys,
figure
let's
out.
go pee on Russia.
I don't know how I missed that one.
That was the original.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the one where where the world got introduced to Tator. Now I don't know
the first one. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hysterical.
Well, now there was also another character that was the Cobra Kai attack guy. That was around for a little bit, and he was just out to beat wholesale ass. And he was a terror. Let me see if I can't remember if. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, this is him right there. Let's see what he's going to do here. Shit, I get so old. I really should pay for premium.
So now he's fought promoters. Five promoters want to tell me what my schedule's going to be to come fight on their card. Let me tell you something, bud. I want to sign a contract via Zoom call or a fax message.
Yeah.
You don't realize how high tech I am. It must be people from your area.
That's funny.
Because I'm going to tell you right now,
I'm liable to fight you virtually. I'm not even going to show up to the. I'm literally going to send mean Skype messages to you for a tap out. Make me show up to sign a paper that says that I'm legally going to fight in a cage. I'm trustworthy. You can believe me. Why do you think I'd sue you? What do you get to fear? Besides that right there, I know who's behind this. I know who's behind it. It's that Jaron feller from Accountant Abilities and Law friggin' DeCastro.
Love that hat.
I'm gonna make something real clear to you, you tyrant pigs. You don't tell me what my schedule is. I don't tell me what my schedule is. I don't tell you to tell me to tell you I said what my schedule is. We're going to have a virtual fight. No contact fight. I want to not show up and sign papers. I'm too busy. I don't stop. I got to be at my job. You don't know what you're dealing with, but it's going to be bad. I'll click them keys on that keyboard so bad, boy, you won't even know what hit you. I'll come at you, boy. You better watch yourself, bot promoter. You better watch yourself, pig tyrant. You better watch yourself, accounting abilities. And you better watch yourself, law freaking DeCastro, because I know where you live. I got trackers on everything you got, boy. And let me tell you something else, too. Everybody think it's funny. Getting shot with a damn pellet gun while trying to ride my tricycle. I remember one time I was on the back of Lyle's tricycle. He had me in one of them little car seats on the back. I was too little at the time to be able to touch the ground.
Look so fucking mad. Look at
That's like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But nevertheless, it don't matter. Because I don't deserve to get shot by no BB guns. Just because I was down there being every bit of the damn trouble. Virtual fight, you better watch your ass. I'm virtual and everything. Show up to sign papers for a fight. You think I'm going to show up and keep my word to do what I said I was going to do? And you think you're going to tell me that I'm going to do what I said I was going to do? We don't stop keyboard warrioring.
Okay, so just to set that up, exactly what that was right about the time that Chille's dumbass got shot with a BB gun.
I remember that.
And he was riding his bicycle down there and was that in, where was that, Sovereign? Was that in Houston or Dallas or somewhere?
It was in Texas.
It was in a big city, you know.
Yeah, and it was in Texas, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But he got shot with a BB gun and he was riding his bicycle. And then that was also right about the time where he said that he's not going to show up and sign them papers. So obviously, this Cobra Kai warrior guy had to come out to, kind of troll him a little bit, and kind of give him a little bit of parody action there. So let him know how silly it was to think he could sign up to keep his word. I mean, who would want to do that, right?
You made a mistake in that video. You said you had a job.
I know. That's why that was actually an irony. That wasn't really a mistake. That was on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was complete sarcasm.
Not an
Funny.
oversight.
So
Not an oversight. God, you
yeah.
look so fucking mad in that thing too, man.
Oh
You
yeah.
like-
Well, you know.
I bet you got a real mean fucking look about you when you are mad. I bet you.
I don't know.
I thought last night at Giovanni's, I was like, ooh.
I was just tired, buddy. Just
You look tired.
wearing down a little bit. So let's see. There was actually one or two more that I was
Why am
going
I
to share.
being invaded?
Let's see here. Can find it.
We just got invaded by every dog I own. I don't know.
Well,
What's going
that's
on.
a good thing. Let's see here.
Either that or an earthquake's coming. One of the two. I don't know.
Yeah, it might not be good then. Let's see. So anyway, and the reason I was kind of getting to this, I'll tell you what, I'll spare us the rest of those for now. But the reason that I kind of want to share this to let everybody see how this year has went. And I tried to keep a positive attitude through it, even in the kind of the down times, you know. And it kind of sucked. There was times that I was, I'd train my butt off and I literally hurt my knee, and I still suffer from that for training and all this stuff. And here's this guy that comes in here and causes trouble and starts trouble in town, but yet he can't even keep his word to come and sign papers. And he's just, and it's hard to stay positive when you got a guy who preaches so much negativity. Yep. When you're faced with so much negativity and such a guy that just wants to be trouble, he wants to fight, he wants that conflict because he thrives on that conflict. And because he thrives on that conflict, it's hard to keep a positive nature in that,
Sure. He doesn't really want the resolution. He wants the conflict.
Exactly. And that's what I've preached all along. And I said this, Sovereign, and I'm sure you've, being on my panel, you've heard me say this, but I've said this all along. If I thought Chille was truly civic minded, if I thought he really was out for the right reasons to get the right results, I would have supported him. I would have supported him in his ventures, and I would have been a subscriber. I would have followed him and stayed there to see if we could make some differences and work as a team. But I seen right off the bat that was not his motive. That was not his agenda. He wanted trouble because trouble created clicks and views, and trouble created donations. Yep. He didn't want the resolution. He didn't want. First of all, let's face it. If you really want change is not happening by some idiot going around picking fights and calling people bad names. That's not how you're going to make change. If you really want a grassroots campaign, get out there and shake hands and be nice to people and tell them what you're preaching. If you're getting out there and you want to go around and you say, look, let me tell you about this. I don't think they're doing it right, and let me tell you why. And you go around and you actually get people to support you, not by going up there to these 25-year-old young policemen and calling them nasty names and telling them what a bunch of pussies they are. It's probably not going to get the results you want. So as opposed to getting out there, why don't you get out there and say, and he's got the potential that he probably could have made some changes in some certain areas if he would have had the right mind about him, but he doesn't. I found that out real fast. He does not have the right. He does not care. He wants trouble. And that's evident when, if he really was civic minded, he would have showed up in September to make money for St. Jude's.
Mm-hmm.
Win or lose, it wouldn't matter. He would have still went down with integrity because he showed up, he kept his word, he done what he said he was going to do, and we would have made some money for St. Jude's. And I'll tell you something else too. While we were all streaming back in July to try to make money for St. Jude's, and we were all doing the different things, and you and Terry done the streams, and I done streams, and hell, we had there's 10 or 12 channels that actually got together and done stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able
went broke. I was on all the channels just getting money.
But when we were all trying to do things, doing nice things or whatever, and trying to do something for St. Jude's, and the one person that I really thought would try to reach out with a hand of diplomacy for the bigger calls here, never even tried to do a stream. Never even tried to resolve anything, never tried to work with anything, never tried to show any initiative whatsoever. You know, and I had Kate from Masshole reach out to me to want to be part of it. Kick reached out to me. You know,
Skeptic.
yeah, Skeptic. There were so many people that actually got involved in all this, wanting to do something positive, and guess who didn't? Big shocker, right?
No, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys knew this, but Johnny O over at Plot Hole, he was still doing stuff for St. Jude's, even and so was gosh, there were several of them. Triggered Limey was still doing stuff for a long time. A lot of channels actually stepped up and done something positive for a good cause for months after that. And Chille, still to this day that I know of, now I may be misquoted and I may be wrong, but to this day that I know of, Chille never has made any gesture or any mention to try to do anything positive for that cause. And that just really bugs me.
You know, this has really been cool because, like you've said, this has brought a lot of different people all together.
Absolutely.
And some of us with ideas that are as different as night and day from one another. And it's the ability to be able to listen to one another that's important. And a lot of times I'll be friends. I am friends with people. Okay.
Absolutely.
But what I say to you may not be very pleasant sometimes.
Absolutely.
And the only reason I'm doing that is because if I didn't care, I wouldn't say shit.
Sure.
And so, like here recently, Keeping It Criminal, who I like, I've been on panels with, he engaged in what I would refer to as yellow journalism when it came to talking about another channel, Amagads Press. And I broke it down. And that was in no way to disparage Kick at all.
Mm-hmm.
What I did, and then I ended it with this, I said, you do better. You're better than that. Do better. And that's all. It didn't mean that I don't like Kick at all. But when I see something like that, I will say it out. It doesn't mean I don't like you. Like, for instance, I've said several times, and I'm sarcastic, but partly serious when I bring up, you know, the overabundance of blinker pullovers in Ironton, you know.
Sure.
We'll cut through the bullshit. We know what that's all about. It's pretextual because, you know, you probably got a good chance of getting a bust on some kind of, you know, you'll be able to go from there. It's casting your fucking bait. But my problem with it is, like, you know, get some different bait. You know, it's getting kind of, the worms are getting tired, you know, try a spinner, you know.
Right.
And so it's to the point. So I'll make a joke like, you know, that nobody in Ironton's going to not use their blinker. That's for sure. You know, of course, I'm pointing out something ridiculous. Do I think it's wrong? Yeah, absolutely. It's not endangering anybody. So I think it needs to stop. There it is. But does that mean that, oh, I think Chad's a fucktard and he's doing this shit on purpose and generating it? So, dude, that's not even the point. No, I don't know Chad as a cop. Chad is a friend of mine who happens to work as a cop. That's the way I look at it. See, I've never really seen you in uniform except maybe on a video. Every time I run across you, you're just a regular dude, man.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think that helps a lot of the perception as well.
Well, and I've said this all along, and I'll tell you, just to touch on what you were talking about there for a minute with you and Kick, is I was just, Mike and I were talking about that before you came on, and I have not watched that video with your all's exchange, and I'll tell you why, is because, like I told Mike, I like both of you, and I think highly of both of you, and I don't want to be in a situation where, you know, I look at it and say, man, I hate that. I don't want to have that uncomfortable feeling either way, because I do think so highly of both of you. And I've said all along, I don't agree with everything Terry does. I don't agree with everything Bits does. I don't agree with everything you do. I don't agree with, and that's just, and if we did, we'd be boring as hell.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's the reality.
We'd be Borg.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they're trying to make everybody be, fucking Borg.
Right.
And like you were saying with this division of things, look, I don't hate Kick. I like Kick. He's a pretty chill dude when you go to talking to him. I could probably do a round of golf with him, probably whatever. Okay. But you know, when I did that breakdown of that, it's like, hold on, this is sensationalism. I mean, the reason I came across the video in the first place was it came through my Twitter feed. And it said Amagansett Press exposed. big capital letters. And I'm like, what? I've been watching Amagansett for a while. What is exposed for what? And then when I broke into it and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. So everything that's being exposed is secondary hearsay with no backup to what you're saying, and even evidentiary to what viewers would see. It's contradictory to what you're even witnessing. And so I had to press it to the issue, and I'm glad he did come on. The problem is that hey, you guys, ego started to get into the way, and and often with that, what happens is, well, you believe in flat Earth. Yes, we can go talk about that on Tuesday. Right now, we're talking about a yellow journalism issue.
Right.
Okay. You're casting aspersions on someone that's told to you secondhand without any kind of backup. And that's what I'm going at. I mean, it's like finally he revealed who the source was, and all it is some guy. He used to do audits and he got busted, and now he hates auditors. That's it. Did this guy travel around with Amagansett Press? Did you call any of these places to verify that that's how Amagansett does his videos? For instance, his claim was, if you're not familiar, Amagansett Press, he goes around the country in an RV, and him and his son film post offices. Sometimes they go in, they just buy their stamp, they come out and they say, yep, it's a lovely little town, and it's over. Other times they get the resistance shit. Regardless, they're not harming anyone. This guy's claim to kick, and this is why I can't believe he ran with it, said that Amagansett Press goes into the place and riles up the people real fast, gets them all riled up, and then goes outside and adopts a calm, pleasant demeanor and gives a time and temperature and a picture of the flag, so that they're already primed up like you would at a sitcom. You have the guy that comes out and warms up the audience and shit.
Right.
Okay, so you see, so these people must be in on it too, because they all act very surprised that here's this guy. None of them ever say, oh my God, you're back again and now with a camera. Never hear that. The police never show up before he starts filming. Hey, are you the guy that was causing a ruckus inside the post office? None of that. And I've watched him for years. And I'm like, well, how do you actually know this? Did you call any of these post offices and say, hey, when this video was shot by Amagansett Press, I'm sure some of your people ask around, did he come in and fuck with y'all and then come in and do the filming? Verify it somehow, because it sounds bizarre. None of that was done. And it was pretty much, I hate auditors, and in particular this guy for some reason, and I'm going to try to smear them. And it's like using secondary hearsay evidence. I thought you studied law, Kick. You should know what hearsay is. And you should know that these things, if you make claims like that, and fully, you should know what slander is. So that's all I called out. Doesn't mean I hate Kick. Not one bit. I don't like that when you do that kind of thing. And I see a lot of these so-called frauditor exposers do that often. They do this they cut the video. They use a lot of ad hominem, a lot of pejoratives. They go and say, oh, well, even in this one, it was like, here's a picture that some guy sent on their Facebook. He says, oh, look at this guy just stuck a sticker up. You don't know anything about the picture. You're just insane. See how goofy that guy looks? That's what all the people that follow this guy look like. And I'm like, holy fucking God, man. Where are you getting this shit from?
Right.
And if you got some real stuff, if you can go factual, I can dig that. But when you start doing housewife gossip shit, well, you're no better than The View,
Right.
And I don't have a real high opinion of The View.
So back to where this little conversation started. One thing Chille did that I give him credit for is, I've never seen the town rally behind the police department quite like it did.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah. And, they do it behind the fire department because every once in a while you get a crazy ass councilman that wants to get rid of the fire department. So you'll see a little Well, it's true, right, Chad?
I know. I know.
but I've never seen
Motherfucker
that.
probably hates puppies and grandma too.
Well, they
Bastard.
just but I'd never seen it. Not to that extreme. And now everybody, it's like, okay, we know all the police officers' names. Everybody does. Hell, my mom's 81 years old. She says, now, which one is this? And she's not watching the videos, but she pays attention to what's going on. And,
Sure.
So the town notoriously did what it always does. It rallied behind itself. And we've always done that. We got just like the Tigers, that's easy to rally behind the football team and stuff. But when you see both the high schools cheering on each other and having, it's just the town will show up when it's time to show up. And they showed up for you guys, Chad.
I'll tell you,
and I was thrilled.
It was a truly, it was a very unique time for us.
Mm-hmm.
When he very first came to town, there was a moment where I was afraid that he was going to convince people, with his propaganda. And I was kind of, I guess I was kind of under the impression thinking, this is going to be a toss up, how people are going to receive this guy.
Well,
and I remember the first day when it really hit me that people really did have a greater confidence in us than what the surface value was. As I'd actually got out of my cruiser and I'd went in, I'd went into to a Speedway gas station. And when I got out of the car, and I started walking up towards the door, and I actually parked kind of at the end of the lot, because I kind of keep the cruiser out of the way of people coming in and out of the place or whatever. And as I'm walking up through there was like 2 or 3 people, horns honking when they're driving by or whatever. And it's kind of right on Park Avenue. So it's kind of a busier area. So, there's a lot of traffic in and out of there anyway, but I didn't really pay attention to why the horns were honking or whatever. And then I heard somebody shout out and say, go get him, Captain Chad, or something like, like people, and then like, we love you guys or whatever, it's like, wow. And then we had people showing up at the police department.
Mm-hmm. I made a point, and I made a point to stop by. I met you. That's when I met you. I came down to the police station and said, you guys hang in there, man. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And
we had that through the entire community, people showing up, people coming into the police department and hitting the buzzer or leaving cards on our windshield wipers.
Donuts.
Yeah, we did.
Guys donuts.
We did. As a matter of fact, even Josh Abrams sent us pizza. Abrams sent us pizza, and obviously Blue Bacon. He actually catered his subscribers catered an entire spread for us. It was awesome. But not just that, but the locals, the support that we got was almost it was almost unreal. Like, it took a minute to kind of step back and say, wow, this really is like not exactly. If he ever had a motive or agenda to accomplish anything, to say he failed at it was an understatement.
Yeah, because he fell backwards with this one.
He certainly went completely backwards, because our community was so much more united after he left compared to what was prior to his arrival.
Mm-hmm. It's surprising what a small community they will come together for things. Like I told you, there was that police officer, and I'm in a small town. For real, my town police are literally 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Right. That's it. And most of their duties consist of directing traffic when school is going in or coming out. That's pretty much it. And we had a police officer here that he used to be a Virginia state trooper. And his wife had urged him, because of the danger of that job, to take in this job in this small town as a town cop. And now, I didn't even know the guy's name until this had happened. One day I was sitting here, and it was I think it was in March, and my curtains were part way open. And My wife had got up to go get something, and on her about the time she reached the kitchen, we both heard pop, pop, whomp. And she said, "What was that?" And I says, "It sounded like it was a 22." And I know the report. It was a 22. 2 shots. And she goes, "What do you reckon now?" And I says, "Probably just somebody sighting in their 22 or something. You know, no big deal. We hear that all the time." A couple minutes later, I hear these orders outside the house going, "Get back in your house," and all this shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And as soon as I hear somebody barking orders, it bristles me up. I'm like, fuck you. You know, like that's the first thing, my first response that comes to me when somebody barks an order at me is to go, fuck you. And so I'm like, what in the hell is that? I get up and I look out the window. And there are like all these cops from everywhere wearing bulletproof vests, carrying ARs and shit, and they're running up in my yard. And I was like about to go, "Honey, put the dogs in the basement. It's about to get fucking messy up here." And about that time, she got a message on Facebook that said there's an active shooter on Judy Lane. And then everybody was like thinking it was me because I have all these guns, right? And I'm like, no,
It's
what
the crazy
fuck?
hippie guy.
Yeah, you must have flipped his shit and gone off.
Finally
And I'm like,
lost it.
No. Well, come to find out what it was is this guy, Officer Winham, he had pulled over this kid, and the kid didn't even take his car out of gear, pulled out this AR, 22 caliber AR, and fired off 2 shots, one of which hit the guy in the head. He never even had gotten out of his cruiser, and it killed him. And then his car, still in gear, hit a pole ahead. That was the later whoomp that I heard. And I'm like, oh, shit. Well, come to find out, he triangulated across this field. They had choppers in the air and everything. And they, of course, found him, and he made a sudden move, and they, filled him with freedom.
Ventilated him.
Yeah, big time.
Are you saying that he died of lead poisoning?
Oh, yeah, to say the least. And, it was a troubled kid. His parents had been going through the system with him, and they're trying to put him on this medication, that medication, whatever the fuck, that kind of shit.
Right.
And, it was needless. It was absolutely needless. And the irony of it, because this was so much safer than being a state cop. Yeah. But my point was that the community has come together. This has been 2 years now. And to the point where now there's a little park has opened up, and that was done with the savings of a little boy. A little boy in the area saved up his money to make this park for Officer Winham.
Oh, wow.
And people are still with the blue porch lights in honor of that. Wow. I mean, it's just like, because shit like that doesn't happen here.
Right.
Much less two doors.
Isn't that a common belief, though? How many times do we hear shit like that doesn't happen here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that if you were to look at was it Columbine out in Colorado, I would venture a guess they would have said all that kind of shit doesn't happen here. Right?
I thought about that, and Chad, I think we talked about that. Like,
I think we did
around
too.
Uvalde time.
Yep.
It's like, could you imagine that happening at any of our schools?
Right.
Any of them. That our town would be devastated for a long time.
Absolutely.
But we would rise up. I believe
Absolutely.
that. But I think about like out at Sims Valley, that school is that community.
It absolutely
out
is.
there.
Yep.
So I just think about that. I'm horrified by that.
I'll tell you, it's a really scary thing, when we think about the evils that are in this world, because we don't, I think sometimes we like to turn a blind ear. You know what I mean? Like we kind of, we kind of sit back and say, oh, that really sucks that happened out there in Texas, right? Or that really sucks that happened at Virginia Tech, or that really sucks that happened in Colorado, or whatever. And we tend to forget that those are all just a bunch of Irontons.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a bunch of people.
And there's where the problem is, Chad. It's not the number of firearms.
No.
And it's nothing else. It's not the lack of police. Okay. Because police, of course, they're reactive. They're not really proactive.
It's almost
so it's not that. What is
in terms of terms like that?
Well, think about this though. What's the common problem? It's people.
Sir,
why are there so many fucking unhinged people? I mean, for somebody like that guy that shot people from the tower in where was that? Austin, Texas.
Texas.
Oh, yeah, that was a guy in Las Vegas.
That was the first.
I mean, that was a rare thing. That was so rare, so bizarre. Now it's like, oh, another one. Geez, how about that?
Crazy,
so it's a people problem. Why are there so many goddamn crazy people?
You know, think about this. They used to teach firearm safety in schools. They would have shotguns in schools to teach elementary kids and teach them about firearms with shotguns and stuff, because every little kid was going out with their dad on the weekends and shooting squirrels and rabbits and deer. And you never heard of that stuff. You never heard of people hurting each other to that degree. We live in a society, man, where we've lost virtue. We've lost integrity. You know, and I think and I honestly, and you guys have heard me say this before, and I'll say it again. Change doesn't start at the White House. It doesn't start at the State House. It doesn't start at the courthouse. It starts in your house.
Right.
If you want to make change, teach your children. Teach your children to be moral and ethical, to maintain integrity. That's the difference. When you teach a child that a firearm is a deadly weapon, and we don't want to hurt people ever. You know, I remember my dad when we very first went out when I was a little kid, and we went squirrel hunting, and you know he'd already taught me a little bit. You know, we'd been shooting and stuff, and he taught me. He said, "Here's the deal. I remember him going over the basic rules of firearms safety, and it got to the point where I was so disciplined with the muzzle of that firearm that I focused on that so much. There was times that I probably wasn't even paying attention to the game in the woods because I was so respected to that gun because I had been taught to. You know, and I've passed that down to my kids, and I kind of got some grief, Sovereign. You know, a few years ago, Braxton, and you guys kind of got to meet Braxton on my video where he was in his tournament. He's a grown man now. I'm proud of him, but he was a little fella. He was 7 years old, and I taught him to field strip a 1911. At 7 years old, he could take a 1911 completely apart all the way down to the frame. You know, the 1911 is not the easiest gun to field strip by today's standards. You know, there's a lot more to that. But I had him so comfortable to do that. And he was doing it very comfortably, to the point where, you know, and I remember, you know, his mom, my ex at the time, you know, she was always like, "Are you sure you should be teaching him that so young?" And I was like, "You bite your tongue, woman." I was like, I would have taught him before he was even actually born if I had the opportunity to. But yes, because I took the curiosity away from him. I took the curiosity away from him, and I taught him what it was, and I taught him it was a dangerous, deadly item. And you treat it with respect, and you treat people with respect. And guess what? He doesn't want to hurt anybody, and he's safe with a firearm. That's just the way he is. You know, if we educate these kids, and we, you know what? And I know you guys have talked about the public school system and you know stuff and whatever. But if we start at our house, and we just set guidelines and rules, first of all, I think history is an absolute fundamental. I think if you do not educate these children in history, then you're failing them, and you're literally breeding the next generation of possible tragedy. Because if we don't understand history, what the old saying says, you're bound and guaranteed you're going to repeat it.
Yep.
And
so we have to make sure that we're teaching these kids history.
I agree, Chad. Along with what is so lacking, memorization and regurgitation of information is not learning. Okay, absolutely. I don't care how accurate it is. And this is kind of like it's a thing I would do, like even with my kids when they were growing up, as far as history was concerned. I was like, okay, so you got this group here, and this is what they were thinking, and this is what they were doing. And then you got this group over here, and this is what they're thinking, and this is what they're doing. Now, which side do you think you'd want to be on based on these things. Let's look at what really happened. What do you think of that? We're looking at it from a neutral standpoint. We don't look at it from the glorified standpoint of grandpa who hit the beaches of Iwo Jima or the jungles of Vietnam and all the take all the fucking hero shit right out of it. Let's look at the events from a neutral standpoint. You tell me what you think, and then we're going to talk about what the outcome was.
Right.
That's the way I do those things. I even took my kids to Gettysburg and gave them a tour. You're not really supposed to do that unless you're licensed, but I took them on a moment by moment tour of the Battle of Gettysburg. And what I do with that is pretty soon I look and I had people following along with us because I put them in the place, in the conditions. Now, that's you right now. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you feeling? Smell the gunpowder. Hear the explosions. And
terrified.
it really puts a different twist on it. Yes.
Right. What you said there really makes a lot of sense to me. When you were talking about the regurgitation of information. Have you ever heard the old saying that says there's a difference between a mechanic and a parts changer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's exactly what that is with history and with academic. You could be a parts changer. You could literally spit out the information that they shove in your face, and they give you a test that's state regulated, and you have multiple choice. You're going to guess, and you're going to spit back that information they gave you. Or you can be a mechanic and you can get in there and diagnose and find the problem and fix it. Or you can get that same knowledge and you can have it to be wealthful, to be useful, to actually dig it out and find it and make use for it. And I think that's a lot of what we're lacking as well. And I'm not blaming the teachers. I know, and I want to make sure that I clarify that.
They learned the same way. They learned the same way. See, that's the whole thing. That's how it works. It's self-perpetuating.
And I'll say, and I feel confident saying this. I really believe, at least in our community here, and I think Mike would agree too. In this community, we're blessed with some genuine, loving educators. Not just in Ironton schools, but the tri-state. And I think we have some pretty good people. And I've spoke about Joe Rowe before. I know Mike's heard me speak of Joe Rowe before, but I've watched Joe, and he's a principal in one of our local schools. I've watched Joe sow his own time into children on his personal time where nobody was around to know it. There wasn't cameras around. There wasn't any kind of hype about it or any kind of glory that he was getting from it. He was doing it because he knew it was the right thing to do, and he was trying to sow something good into these kids' lives. And,
Joe,
and I know we have good educators. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we're blessed.
We are.
We're blessed to have guys like that.
We are. And we have a lot of them. We truly do. But I can tell you right now, the problem is I think the curriculum is too government regulated. And we have seen the influence of media. Let's face it. I don't give a shit what side you're on. I don't care if you're extreme left, extreme right, or extreme up your own ass. It doesn't matter. If you can't see that this is blatant propaganda by media, at times it's almost laughable. Have you guys seen the little meme thing where it shows this weatherman and he's standing out and he's making it like he's standing in this big deep flood water and all this stuff.
Yes, the guy walks by behind him.
Yeah, and it's like that's so real. It really is. They're selling drama instead of providing news. It really has almost become more of a fictional thing. You know what I'm saying?
I catch a lot of flack. People say, "Oh, you are all for a mass murderer," and it's all based on this. See, this is this thinking, this chain down thinking that people have. Because I said, as far as the conflict, in my opinion, going on between Russia and the Ukraine, from what I've seen going on for at least the last 4 years, Russia has the moral high ground, if there is such a thing in a war. Okay, I'm going, looking at all the things. Now, does that mean that I love Russia or something? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm looking at it 2 standpoints. It's like, hey, sorry, man. One's just kind of sick of you bombing their people and shit. They're going to finally do something about it.
And once again, you guys know I'm all patriotic and red, white, and blue, and I'm not a fan of the Russian communist way of thinking and all that stuff. But if we look at this from the outside, wasn't Ukraine like a very corrupt, that the leadership they had? I mean, they were basically just a bunch of.
It still is. It still
Yeah,
is.
that's what
It's the whole thing is a giant CIA operation of money laundering for the West. That's what it is. This is why they're paying him all this money. Keep your fucking mouth shut, Zelensky. Why do you think that Hunter Biden and shit was over there? Out of all the other places. That's why.
Let's go back to what Chad was saying. I remember probably 7 years ago when I found out. So in I think there's 7 high schools in Lawrence County. I think it's 7 or 8. If you count, you got to count St. Joe in there. So there's 2 in Ironton. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They all have their own school boards, right? Did you know that there's a Lawrence County school board?
Well, if that into duplication of services.
No, I'm not kidding. So, yeah, and when I found that out, hell, I was on city council and stuff, and all of a sudden I hear this, I'm like, well, what the hell do they do, and how long have they been around? And because I did not know.
Well, Mike, think about it. Think about it. We
don't know what
used to have a health department. We had a health department, a city health department, and a county health department, literally in the same building, door to door.
I ask that every day that I done. So why are we doing this? Why are we duplicating this service?
Because that's how round table situations work, man.
Well, just because. So you talk about. There's more administrative positions in the public education system than there are teaching, and that's go back to where the classrooms. When we started consolidating high schools, it got ugly, because now we've got schools. Our schools are pretty good. They're, they all have about 700, 600, 500 students at the most. And that's like maybe Rock Hill and South Point. I don't even think they have that many. They might have 350. So our class sizes are pretty good here. But when you're talking about schools in big cities, you're talking 2,500 students in one school. Absolutely. Hell, Huntington High's got a shit ton.
Absolutely.
So now you've got these consolidations. They thought they were going to save money, but they didn't save money because they just had to put the bureaucracy on top of it.
Absolutely. You said it right there. That's the word. The problem is when you put people in power, and you give them the opportunity to be in power, when they have to surrender that power, there becomes a struggle for power. And then you have to start shaking hands to make deals to be able to say, well, listen, I'm going to take the power, but I'm going to give you a job, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And then you have, well, yeah, but what about my brother-in-law? Now all of a sudden, now we're going to have 2 administrative director assistant. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay. So what exactly did we consolidate for? We're doing it because on paper you tell me that it's going to save us money, right? But yet we've literally got more administrators involved in a system that should be less on paper.
Yep. Well, you have to go back through the history of the hijacking of the education system in the first place. It used to be a community would have its schools. Okay? And like, for instance, my grandfather, he was born in 1906.
First of all, real fast, Sovereign, I just want you to realize that Austin is trying to call me a hippie here. He said that I'm on the panel with the cop like Sovereign. Oh, wait a minute. He was talking the other way around. Sorry, buddy.
Right. So my grandfather, he was born in 1907. And by the time he was about 13 years old, he was done with school, as were most people. You went as 8th grade. Now, you can look at the knowledge that they had to know to pass the 8th grade. I defy college students to pass it. I really do. It was amazing. But anyway, if you chose to go to higher education and get a high school diploma, which was kind of like pre-college, you could do that. And those that had that high school diploma had a much higher advantage in different fields than those that didn't have it. Well, then it got so we end up having the Rockefeller take over with the NEA, the National Education Association, right? And we need to get all the people in this country on the same page, right? Okay, so they go with that, and it's loosely affiliated, kind of controlling, but not totally. And then by the time the 1970s came, they completely federalized it. Now you have to understand that Rockefeller said, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers.
Right.
And this is what he got. So by the 1970s, we had a federalization of all the education systems. What happened? Let's take a look at our education base. As more and more governmental control was put onto this institution, the less and less knowledge was coming out of it.
Oh,
Well,
we
made
trying
it,
to say that more government doesn't equal but something positive.
Yeah, something flipped where we made a decision where we went from everyone can get an education to where we were going to educate everybody.
And
that was the flip.
And you just said it just right too. We are going to educate you. But one of my favorite Einstein sayings of all time says the confusion of education and intelligence.
Yep.
They're not the same thing. You can literally you can literally teach a monkey to do anything, but he still lacks intelligence. You can educate somebody way beyond their intelligence. Education is not intelligence.
Yeah.
It's
You used to be able to go
muscle memory.
You also used to be able to go to a job like AK Steel or something, and they had apprenticeships, and that's very few now. You got to come in with the skill now, and that's changed from the corporate production type jobs. You got to come in knowing how to weld.
They told, my son just took a welding thing. He's really happy as shit. He just paid me back for the tuition I let him borrow. He's doing really, that's the thing. We're missing trades because they convinced everybody that to get ahead, you must have a degree.
No, well, so like right now, I think there's 2 plumbers in Ironton. I'm serious. I think there's 2.
That I know
they have more work than they can do.
Well, sure.
It's like that here. I know 2 plumbers. Yeah. In fact, I only really know 1. I know there's another plumbing outfit around here, but it's, like one of those big outfits that has stores everywhere, one of those. But yeah, a local guy, he's really made quite a hell of a lot of himself. And he started out with an apprenticeship.
Oh, you can make a fortune. But see, there's a problem with that.
Yeah.
There's a problem with that. First and foremost, when you have a society that thinks that if you don't have a college degree and a white collar job that you can't be successful. But let's face it, a lot of 4-year degrees pay half of what these technical trade guys make. And secondly, when you have a society that sits back with their hand out saying, give me, they don't want to work. And that's another big problem. When you literally are saying, hey, Uncle Sam's going to give me money. Well, I got bad news for you. They're not giving you money. They're giving you my friggin' money and Mike's money and Sovereign money. It didn't just come out of the rainbow magical tree of nowhere.
Right. Well, see, the problem is everybody wants to be the boss. Nobody wants to be the worker.
Which is
see,
what we just said about
I won't have to get my hands dirty because, I went to college and I have this piece of paper. So that means I can tell other people to get their hands dirty instead. Well, pretty soon you get an overabundance of bosses and not enough workers. Like you were saying with the tradesmen, Mike, you were talking about the plumbers, same thing here. That's what you got. And nobody's encouraging that. Why? Because you don't have to go into fucking debt to be a plumber. You don't have to go into debt to be an apprentice.
Right.
So who's working with who? Que bono. Follow the money. Why does it cost the amount that it does for a semester in college? Why does a 4-year degree cost this much at this school and a whole bunch fucking more at this other school? Well, we make it overly expensive for the common person while telling them that you must have this to succeed in life. So your only alternative, and you're preying on a young, inexperienced base of people, And you say, here you go, we'll loan it to you. Fucking finance it. Hey, it's okay. Pay later. Pay later. Get it now. Get it now. Never once taken into account that the entire fucking market is flooded with people with liberal arts degrees that are useless. You know, gender studies. What the fuck? There it is. You got a dick, you're a boy. You got a pussy, you're a fucking female. That's it. What there? And study over. Pay me $40,000 fucking dollars.
Wait a minute.
So
You mean we don't have to have
real quick
time
on
just come and tell us what gender we are?
No, man, it's pretty easy to tell, man. You get.
Did you see that? I'm not going to get on this topic, but I had to chuckle about this. Did you see where one of the guys, and I can't, is it the Walsh guy? And I can't remember his name. That drives me crazy. But he done this gender thing, and I laughed. I couldn't help but laugh. He goes to this university, and this trans professor was there, and he literally says, he goes in a question. He says, "What is a woman?" And he goes, and no kid, you can't make this up. He says, "It's somebody who identifies as a woman." And he says, "Okay, but what are they identifying as?" And he goes, "A woman." And he goes,
That's
"Okay,
hysterical."
So what is that?" And he goes, "What is a woman?" And he goes, "It's somebody who identifies." And he says, "Well, I guess we're not getting anywhere here." Matt Walsh, thank you all. Yes, Matt Walsh.
There you go.
Matt
I
Walsh,
saw I saw Babylon Bee, I think, did it, and it was a little girl in a spelling bee. And the word was woman. And she's can I get a definition of the word?
Oh my God.
Give her one.
Babylon Bee and the Onion both have good times with that stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, half the time I have to double look to see if it's something that I'm seeing is actually from one of those things and not real news. That's bad.
Yes, that is bad. So
now, see, I like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's with Daily Wire too. That's in that same crew. I see Night.
Is he? Because that's what you got to do. When it's exactly like that, you got to buy one of my pillows over here, and that's exactly what they need to do.
Did you ever hear his story, Ben Shapiro's story?
No, I hate Ben Shapiro. I can't stand that fucking guy.
He's a Jew.
Yeah, I know.
And
he makes that abundantly clear.
Yeah, with his little hat. but anyway, so he wants to go to Harvard Law. Well, Harvard Law don't want him there. You know, because he's way too conservative to fit in with their propaganda. And they tried every way in the world to keep him out of there. To the point where they actually sent like a committee to interview him and to make him uncomfortable so that they could find a reason to turn him down in his admission. But he's so freaking smart, they couldn't keep him out. And he graduated from Harvard Law, and he will openly talk about how his professors basically didn't like him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's bias against conservatives. There's bias against all kind anything that goes against whatever academia is pushing, and they've got complete control with that. Unless you study along our lines that we say, you're not getting funded.
Well, that's
you're not getting grants.
That's every major university. That's every state-funded government.
Oh, sure.
Government. I mean, you know, and that's what I feel confident saying that's what Mike was alluding to earlier is when we literally put it in the hands of government, even the big government, and then they started saying we are going to educate you. Well, maybe we don't want to know what you're teaching, you know. And
exactly.
I think us as parents should be sitting back going, "No, wait a minute, you're not teaching what my kids need to know. My kids need to know history, mathematics, a general understanding of science." And then and to be able to perform with grammar, so language arts skills. And then I would like for them to be able to pick up with with more hands-on type skills. What happened to shop class? Do they even do that anymore? I mean, I'm genuinely wondering. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think most of it's relegated out to VOED.
Yeah, vocational schools now.
Vocational schools.
Yeah,
which they do a great job out there.
You know, I used to love shop class. You know, when I was in school, I thought that was so cool. You know, you go in there and you get to play with the tools and stuff. You know, but what I didn't realize is they were educating me along the way, real education. You know, so but yeah, you can't replace that type of education with some crazy form of overall governing education from a federal standpoint that, let's face it. I mean, have we met some of these politicians and watching how freaking dumb they are?
Oh
And they're the
my
ones
God, I know.
fighting.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. This is the spell, Chad. This is the spell that I'm saying everybody's under. I'm like, why are you fucking listening to them? Why are you even listening to this? Do you realize what kind of fucking clowns we're talking about here? And you're taking them serious. And the worst you'll do is go on Facebook and say something nasty about it. What the fuck is wrong with people, man?
Well, but it all comes back to what we were talking about earlier. It's because the media has conditioned people to listen to them. Because the media has literally conditioned people over the past 25 years or greater. I'm sure it's went longer than that, but I could certainly say within them to say that these people know what they're talking about. But I can listen to them and say, the hell they do. Listen, they sound like a bunch of freaking random idiots. And it's crazy to me how much fighting that they worry about in partisanship. When you watch these sessions of Congress, and it's like, wow, you guys really just spend more time arguing over the fact that, oh, well, you didn't let these Democrats vote, or you didn't let these Republicans vote. Or well, why don't you guys just show up and do your damn job, and all of you show up to vote like you're paid to do? And how much time do you spend with your people?
Yeah, they would listen. None of them are for you. None of them. If they were, despite the objections of the populace, they wouldn't be doing the things that they do. How is that representing you? Hey, we're going to do some shit that you hate. Wait, why would I do I do shit that I hate to myself? No, I don't. So how are you representing me? Who are you really representing?
Bureaucrats.
Well, bureaucrats, it's the WEF. Everybody's worried about this fucking great reset. Hey, baby, you're in it. It's already happening. It's already happening. Go look at your grocery shelves, man. Take a look at how much that little bit of shit in your grocery cart is costing you right now.
Yeah.
We're seeing costs increase by the week, not by the year.
Hey,
everything's fine. Sleep. Everybody sleep.
Yeah. Until you go pay, what was it my wife told me today? Oh, get this. You ready for this? My wife goes and gets Braylon a birthday cake and has it, made up at Walmart or whatever. How much would you think a birthday cake costs? Just a regular, birthday cake for the boy.
Talking about like a square cake
decorated
with the guy's name, his kid's name.
Decorated type cake, yeah.
Well, I would say probably between $13 or $14, something like that. At a local
$68
supermarket, of course.
$68. $68.
I got an oven. You want to buy some cake? I got them motherfuckers on sale
I'm
for
ready to,
$40. $40.
I'm gonna be Chef Boyard Chad. I'm gonna be in here baking full if that's the case. Now you tell me that's right.
No wonder that little Debbie slut's got that grin on her face.
She's raking in the dough, ain't she?
Yeah, motherfucker out there having cocaine raging orgies with the fucking Keebler elves and shit, man.
But go to the supermarket and look at the price of a gallon. I think she said a 18 carton of eggs is $7 now.
Yeah, it's insane, man.
It's crazy to me.
Did you see where my wife got in that accident?
I did not.
You didn't? Yeah, she was coming home from work and this guy pulled right out in front of her, totaled her car. She had just got groceries. And there was one of those 18 or 30 pack of eggs. She'd gotten a good deal on a 30 pack of eggs. The eggs went all over the place in the car. You know what? Not a single fucking one of them broke.
No kidding.
Yeah, man. That was unreal. But yeah, they totaled the car. She's got
do
a rental.
Do that twice.
Yeah, right. I'm just glad she's okay.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a pain in the ass. And this is like the worst time of the fucking economy the way it is now, because it's like you're going to pay more. You're going to pay a higher interest rate. It's like all because some stupid son of a bitch didn't look before he pulled out in the road, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Luckily, she had that dash cam. It was.
Oh, we could go on a tangent about insurance companies too, but I won't.
Yeah. The way I see it, it should be, oh, your car got fucked up. Good thing you got insurance. Here's another one. And it's done. You just take over what you was doing before. You know, nothing changed. We fixed it for you because you're insured. No, you're gonna have to pay more money for this and that. And it's like,
So Sherry says that in Florida, gallon of milk $5.
God.
Wow.
Well, it's almost the same price as gas now, right? See, milk.
You're depressing me, Sovereign.
Yes. Hey,
this is you're depressing me starting in the new year, bud.
Well, I'll tell you something. My uncle was from Koblenz, Germany, and he lived through the Weimar Republic. I'm sure you've heard about that shit, right? Where he said that you got paid daily and you went to spend all of your money before the shops closed because your money would only be worth half as much the next day.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Talk about a shitty economy.
Now, let's just forget about the trillions that were wrapped up in those spending packages. If you can conceive of those numbers and how astronomically huge they actually are.
Yeah, it's not
Nobody
even real.
bothered to ask where the fuck did that come from?
It didn't. We just print money, bud.
Right. And so every time they do that, which like this money, we're going to help Ukraine, right? What do you think that does to the money in your pocket?
Worthless.
That's exactly right, man.
Yep.
It's exactly right. And people are all stuck on some kind of a false altruistic ideal about why we're doing it. And it's all about fucking laundering money. And
every single time we print that magic war machine money, your dollar is worth less. Just remember that every single time.
Here's what they know and you don't. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now. It's a massive fucking fire sale going on right now. We're going down. This is a massive fucking fire sale. They know it. They're on the buying end. We have no idea.
Well, the problem is when you have our officials in Washington, we talk about the bureaucrats, but what we don't realize is they are the damn bureaucrats. They literally are setting back with their money coming in from these oil companies. You can't tell me for 1 minute that gas can go from $1.70 a gallon to $4 a gallon in a couple of weeks, and you're not going to convince me that some freaking politicians in Washington and got their hands coming from the refineries or the oil was it OPEC? Is that what it's called over there and overseas?
Well, I didn't see, I saw the price go up on the fucking tag outside, but I didn't see no new trucks show up with gas. So how the fuck did the gas that you already had underground for me to pump change price overnight? Nobody asking that shit neither.
Nope.
That's all right. This is the thing, people. You better learn to be self-sufficient because we're coming into buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a bumpy fucking ride, baby.
It's funny that you say that because tonight on Tom's stream, he was talking a little bit about, without getting into it deeply, he was talking about that 80-year generational thing that I believe it was was it Thomas Jefferson that said that he believed that the republic could only stand for 80 years at a time, basically. And I'm speaking loosely. I can't quote any of that, but the idea was that it's generational. And you would have to basically go back and start all over again, and for all intents and purposes, have a revolution every 80 years.
Yeah, it comes down to that statement, like where it says that strong men create good times, good times create weak men create bad times create strong men, strong men create good times. And it's cyclical. It's cyclical. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Chad, just for local, gas last night or this morning in South Point at Speedway was $2.68.
Oh, no, that's good.
304 or 309 at Colgrove. Ironton and Colgrove are always 15 to 30 cents.
I've noticed that.
Higher than the rest of the county.
Yeah, and that what's the name of that one right there at Lowe's, Mike?
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
It was $2.75 last night. Solida Road was $2.68.
I never thought I would ever say that. Wow, that's a great deal.
Isn't that sick?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that sick to think? Wow, I'm so glad I'm only paying $2 a gallon for gas.
I never thought I would see it go above 3 digits. There was this gas station over in Harrisonburg that they had to crowd in that first digit because their sign was so old, right? But then once it went up past being a 1, there was no more room. They fucking took the sign down. They just put up a different thing.
So
it was like never any foresight that the price would ever get that big. You know.
I need to ask you a question. It's real serious now. Okay.
Right.
Real serious.
Okay.
Is there any author that you could think of that you would spend $25 on their book and the book have 45 pages?
Ooh.
45?
Yeah.
And how much?
25.
$25? It would have to be something pretty fucking exquisite.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be Beth Rist's new book, right?
No.
Oh
I
my
can get
God. Mike,
I can get the National Enquirer a lot cheaper than that.
No, I'm serious. It's 45 pages.
Are you being
And
serious?
this is what took years.
It's on Amazon.
Oh, fuck you, Mike. Go on. No.
Look it up.
You're jerking me, man.
Look it
Come
up,
on.
Sovereign. Look it up.
Hang
We're
on.
sharing that shit.
On Amazon, right? Okay, hang on. We're going
What's
down.
it called? Do you know?
Something like Rist versus Ironton, the true story, or
All right, hang on. We're going there.
It's 45 pages. Am I in there?
I don't know. I'm not spending $25 on a 45
Mike,
page book.
now you're being dishonest. Mike got a hardback signed edition.
Hardback's not out. That's
No,
a
you did not.
paperback.
Is there enough? Okay, so I'm at Amazon. We're gonna do
Rist versus Ironton.
all right, Rist.
I can't make this up. Someone sent it to me last night, and I about fell over.
I'm under the understanding that Right On. Yep, here it is.
He had a video last night. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, and he interviewed her, and he never could get her pinned down on anything of as far as those the results of the.
Well, his first question was, he asked if Mike Lutz was arrested, and she said, or for the accusation, and she said yes, and it was Akers. Is that Joe's dad?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy said
Yeah.
Jimmy Akers arrested me. He's dead, right?
Yes.
Has he passed away?
Yes.
And she goes, yes, Jimmy Akers. He's passed away now, but so I've never been arrested by the Ironton Police Department. I've been arrested one time in Ironton, and that was a DUI in 2010. And that was highway patrol. I did not get arrested, but she's swearing that I got arrested on that thing. And I'm just cracking up.
I just seen this. Nope, wasn't me put in there. Yeah, she keeps talking about me hitting somebody. I just
Yeah, she does. She does. I don't know if that's in the book or not, Chad, but she did. She actually said that she saw you bludgeon a man's head into the wall or some shit while he was handcuffed. And so of course the listener is going to go, "Oh my God, that son of a bitch, Chad!" Right?
Yeah, that's mean.
So I asked her. I said, "Weren't you a sergeant?" She said, yes. And I said, so you were a superior officer. You witnessed this and you said absolutely nothing. You did not correct your subordinate. You didn't do anything. Well, no. And I said, well, you're just as fucking bad then.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that description, you see the little excerpt from it, which if it's 45 pages, that's half the damn book you're reading right there.
I know. I was going to do a dramatic reading.
But it says,
please do. Please do. Please.
You see the first
you have to do it. You have to do it in the monotone voice, though.
Do you have the little square down there? It says 45 pages.
Yeah, right down here it says 45 pages.
45 pages. It's $25.
What a
$9.99 on Kindle.
Oh, it is available on Kindle now?
Yeah, it's I think so. Pretty sure you have to get the app though. It's got a price for it right up here at the top.
The publisher it says independent publisher, which I thought she said it was like one of the big companies. Random House.
Random House is what she had told me.
Yeah.
I don't know maybe she was mistaken. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. But later, after her funeral, we went home to the house we would once never see again. We all wept while opening Christmas gifts from our mother, and it was most likely a lifetime of grief and sadness. We all prayed, led by our brother-in-law, Mike, and we didn't want to leave the house. We all had our own house, but knowing she was gone was devastating to us all. Let's get to the part, Beth, where they're doing some, dirt. Give us the salacious details, for Christ's sake. Where are we at here? Every single day of her life, each breath was a gift. She raised us right. She taught us to love everyone and not to have hate in our hearts. She was the most. I can't do this, man. Fuck. This is really boring. I'm sorry. I mean, it just really is. What's this got to do with Ironton? You lost somebody who died and shit. That sucks. We've all had that. I wouldn't waste that much if you're going to expose the corruption of Ironton. But hey, who am I to say? I haven't read the book yet. It's 45 pages. Maybe if the price comes down, I'll order it. It seems to be quite a bit of a price for the book. I don't think I paid that much for a rare collection of what survives of one of the oldest books known. And I think I paid that much for that. The Inventia Fortunate, which is mentioned by Mercator. It was lost at his time. There's only pieces of it left, and it's really an interesting book. Now, I'll pay some money for that. But no, I don't, I'm sorry you lost your aunt or whoever, but I'm not really.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I don't care, but
I thought you'd be impressed by this.
Yeah, that's.
See what you're not realizing, Sovereign, is you haven't got into to the real.
Oh wait, I see the word choke.
Uh-oh.
Her asthma would cause her to choke up. Oh no, it's not that. Never mind. Go ahead.
Well, you just don't realize how much you're going to get wrapped up into this book. You're really, you're going to be grabbed and pulled into where you just can't let go once you get tied up in these 45 pages.
I don't know. I couldn't even get tied up in that paragraph. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. It didn't grab me anywhere. It's like, here's a book, shows this chick is a cop in a car, and the thing, Wrist versus Ironton, the real story. I mean, if that's the story, I don't think that, and you only got 45 pages, I wouldn't waste that much of it on that. I'd make another one, my memoirs of what my life was about or something. But if you're going to talk about, your case against the city of Ironton or whatever, let's get to that,
Oh, just silliness.
But hey, whatever. It might have been her way of coping with shit, that she wrote a book and wanted to achieve something and did it. And, it might not be as much. Hopefully it maybe helps other people by reading it or something. But if it helped her to do it, then fuck, why not?
Did you see what William put here?
I'm trying to be nice.
William said it's not a book, it's a brochure.
It's a trifold.
Maybe it's like Lewis Carroll used to write in putting out just like 2 or 3 chapters of a book at a time. I forget what it's called.
It wasn't a serial. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, and actually, Stephen King did the Green Mile that way. When the Green Mile first came out, he would send 4 chapters.
Wasn't most of Stephen King's books written that way though? That
he never knew. That's what was amazing. He would write a little.
Kind of wrote a lot of little small stories that were basically independent. And then he made them into an overall book, and he was awesome.
He did the Green Mile that way. He would write it, publish the first 4 or 5, and like halfway through, someone asked him, "Well, what's going on with this?" He goes, "Hell, I don't know. He goes, "I'm writing it. I published it." And he goes, I don't know what the end is yet."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
The word periodical, but that's not it. I'm trying to. I know. It's stuck in your mouth too, isn't it, Mike? What the fucking name for that is?
Yeah.
There were a lot of people did that. Robert E. Howard was the guy that did Tarzan. That he first came up with it. And it was, certain authors, and that's how their things got initially. Novella. Sherry Tilly says novella.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not the word I'm looking for.
I'll look it up.
They had the
Good
same
night,
type of
Grandma.
thing. Yeah, they would have the same type of things like the exploits of Jesse James and shit like that coming out. Serials, yeah. Nightman's wife says cereal, and that's what I'm Therial.
Well, see, that's what I thought it was to begin with, but it doesn't click with me when I think about. I don't know.
Well, probably because we think of it in the terms of like movies and TV, because like Flash Gordon was a serial. And you'd go once a week and see the new installment. See, the movies played a bigger role in people's lives than they really do now. It wasn't like they are now. You went there and got your news. They would show the newsreel, and it was quite an event. You go there and get.
The official thing is serial novel, so that's right. It just didn't sound right to me for some reason, but that's what it was called.
Well, see, what they were when they used them in movies, and they did this with magazines. You were more apt to buy. Oh, I can get such and such a magazine, and that's going to have the next installment of so and so story in it. You see, Heavy Metal magazine made its entire existence by doing that, having different artists, different graphic artists with their stories, and once a month there was an installment to it, each one of the stories. And you weren't always into all the stories, at least I wasn't. And, I was waiting for that next one. Well, they moved that over into the movies, but it wasn't the feature. When you went to the movies, they would show a cartoon or a couple of cartoons, and then one of the serials, maybe it'd be a Lone Ranger episode or Flash Gordon or something like that, and then the feature film. And that's what people would go there, and that was like bonus stuff. See, and then later on, you see what they did. Like Flash Gordon was one of those, and then later on, you see where they made this entire Flash Gordon movie about those serials. It turned into one huge thing, and it was a cult following. So it's kind of cool. Corrections 101 says Earth is not flat. Okay, it's level. I agree. There's mountains and valleys and all kinds of fucking shit, but it's level.
But listen, guys, I have been going 3 hours. I was actually going to go about 2. When we get in here and get talking and start having fun, I'll lose track. But I want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out. God bless you guys. Thank you guys for a wonderful year. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for caring what my goofy hind end has to say. And thank you for the friendships and relationships that I've been able to build. But I want to give my panel the opportunity to be able to have a last word. You guys have been with me for a long time, and so I want to definitely give you guys a big shout out. Thank you guys for not only your support, but your friendship. I appreciate you guys. And Sovereign, do you have a last word for our chat or panel, sir?
Yeah, man. Keep your mind open. Look for the light. Look for the truth. Don't wither away from it. Truth is truth, even in a minority of one. Your mind is like a parachute. It'll only work if it's open. And you can thank Frank Zappa for that.
That's great. That's
great. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Sovereign. And Mike, if you got a last word for the panel or chat, sir?
If you're ever feeling bad about yourself, go out and help somebody.
Absolutely.
That's it. You'll feel better. I promise you.
Absolutely. And I have found too that the old saying, if you want honesty, then if you want somebody to be honest with you, then you go sow honesty. You know, that's what you need to do. If you want respect, be respectful. So
my other thing is homeless people need socks and gloves.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you know something else, man? This is first and foremost for everybody, I think. Be happy, man. Just be happy. It's contagious. Right. It's contagious, man.
Absolutely.
Let's have that kind of a pandemic, huh?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. John Lennon.
We just keep going, don't we?
All right. It's all good. Hey, Chad, I appreciate you inviting me up tonight.
Hey, man, I appreciate you hanging out with me. And for everybody in the chat, thank you guys for, like I said, thank you guys for a wonderful year. We hit 2,000 subs. I can't believe we're there. We're like 2,100 and stuff. So I want to keep growing, man. I want to keep going and making more and more friendships. You guys have been awesome. Thank you guys for the support. Not only just the support and watching the videos, but the comments and stuff keep me going. I appreciate that, man. You guys really, really make it worthwhile. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Remember, every single opportunity that we have, every single day you get up and you make decisions. Your decisions determine your destiny. You can choose to be positive. You can choose to be negative. You can choose to be a blessing, or you can choose to be a pain in the ass. So make the decision. If you have the opportunity to bless somebody, if you have the opportunity to be able to be somebody's friend, to be somebody's support, to be somebody's corner man, do so. It's not going to hurt you.
Amen.
You will be so blessed and so thrilled when you are able to do something nice for somebody. It's almost incomprehensible how you feel. When you actually get to do something good for somebody, it feels so good. And not behind a freaking camera. Nobody cares. You don't need to
Right.
film yourself doing something like these guys. It drives me crazy, man. But we appreciate you guys. Stay focused, stay driven, stay blessed, because 2023 is going to be your best. Never quit, never give up. If you get knocked down, get your ass back up. And remember this, no matter what, if you stay focused and you stay driven and you have the opportunity to do something good for somebody, do it. There are no down days. There's up days and getting up days. So if you're down, get your ass up. Stay blessed, stay driven, stay positive. Train like you fight like you train. We'll see you guys in 2023.
Awesome.